But yeah, it's weird, like the balance, right? Because I'm trying to ascend to be my best self, and and then like all the spiritual growth and path towards enlightenment, and then at the same time still being involved in this almost blood sport. Yeah, right. It's a weird balance, and sometimes I'm like, fuck, what am I even doing in this life? And then other times I'm just like, fuck, I love it. I love it so much. Right? So,
no, for sure, man. I feel you.
I realize that I'm like, I've got a bit of a warrior spirit, you know, and
how can you not?
Yeah, how can you not? I've really, especially since the last fight, it's really kind of hit home, like that. That some of the things that I'm unleashing, some of the aggressiveness, it doesn't have to be darkness, right? I shied away from it a lot, and you can even see in my fights where my mindset is. For like not the last fight, but maybe the 3, 4, or 5 even before that, I was really trying to just not get hit, not get hit. Right, and I'm always trying to not get hit, right? But the savagery, it really wasn't there. Like that intention and aggressiveness really wasn't there. And in the last fight, you really saw that start to come out again. Yeah. And I'm finding ways to tap into that aggressive type intent without bringing me into like some sort of darkness, anger, right, hatred based energy system, which will in for me that I can't fight at my highest like that. I can't. My brain doesn't function properly, right? And nobody's does really when they're angry. Your brain doesn't function well.
Yeah, of course not. Yeah, you're working on angry. I don't mean to cut you off there, man.
No,
but
it's all good.
I mean, I gotta welcome people in, man.
Let's do it.
Welcome to the Self-Hired ThinkSpace podcast, man. I'm sitting down with one of the greatest fighters. Well, one of the fighters that's at the top of his game right now, and one of the best mixed martial artists in the world, Kajan Johnson. Thank you for coming out. I appreciate you, man.
Oh, my pleasure, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey, man, it's a blast. I've been waiting to get you on this podcast for so long. Right before we just went live there, you were talking about a little bit about how you are a little too much of a good guy for the UFC, or just for fighting in general. Like, you're a little bit too much of an empathetic guy. If you guys don't know, hold up. Do you have a nickname yet?
No.
So we have not found.
No, it was Raging. Some of the guys, like at my last fight, they're trying to like.
Yeah.
Because I have I was named in a sweat lodge, right? I have a native name as well.
Okay. What is that?
In Cree, it's Pasquale-Mostos Kakatoa.
I'm not gonna try to repeat that, but I like that though.
But in English, that means Buffalo Thunder, right? So. When I told that to Hardy and the guys at the UFC, because they were asking about what my tattoos on my hands were, and that's what it is, right?
Right.
Pre-syllabics for that. So
very cool.
Yeah, they're like, oh, well, that should be your nickname. And I'm like,
no, the announcers wouldn't like that.
Well, no, it would be Buffalo Thunder. It wouldn't be Pasquale-Mostos Kakatoa. They can barely pronounce my name as it is. You know?
Well, that's the thing, because it used to be Cajun, Raging
Kajan Johnson.
Exactly, right?
For years, yeah.
But that is completely incorrect.
Yeah, it's Kajan, right? So Raging Kajan doesn't really work. No. And I don't rage all that much.
You're not. That's the segue right there. Is you're an empathetic guy. You're not a McGregor.
I'm not that guy that's trying to use fear to intimidate
and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's not really my style. I don't think it serves me to my highest. And even intimidating a person into performing worse, did I really beat that person? Ooh. Right? Like, there's psychological warfare, but I personally would like to beat them at their best technically. Wow. Right? So I have the best technical prowess in the world, because that way I can impart that to the next generation. I can teach the next generation how to do that. It's difficult to teach people mental warfare, and you can do it, but is that really conducive to creating balanced humans? I'm not trying to create a bunch of McGregors,
a bunch of little monsters,
right? Because that'll spill out, and then especially coming up on the local scene, you got these guys just out there trying to intimidate all their opponents and act kind of like thugs. Like, that's not going to look good on my school. That's not going to bring a lot of like younger athletes, like kids, into my gym. Yeah, that's and then I'm not growing the next generation, so I'm shooting myself in the foot.
Yeah, what are you doing? So that, you know what? Honestly, I would actually argue that and say that when you talk about intimidation factors, I'm watching your stare down. Even your last fights, they're mean eyeing you, they're mad dogging you, and you're sitting there with a smile, like, yeah, let's go. Yeah, let's go. And I'm thinking in my head, like, damn, that's dope. First off. Second off, I would be scared if I was him. Yeah. Do you understand? Yeah. Like, I would be like, wow, this guy is really smiling at me right now.
Totally. You know, and that's actually worked, like, not intentionally, but that does intimidate some people.
Yeah.
When they're expecting you to be like, rah, and they're trying to fucking get in your head and shit, and you just don't give a fuck.
Yeah. I'm going to kill you, motherfucker.
I've experienced that on the other side. When I fought Rory McDonald, I tried to intimidate the fuck out of Rory.
Yeah.
Like, because he was a kid. He was like 18, you know. I was like 23, 24.
Right. Which is a huge difference at that age.
At that age, that's a massive difference, right? And he had like, I don't know, like 9 fights. I had like 25.
Yeah. So you're
I'm like,
you're about to rookie this guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm gonna make this a street scrap. Like, I'm gonna get in this kid's head. He's not gonna know. Doesn't know what he's in for. And he didn't give any fucks, bro. You could build a fucking castle with the amount of fucks he didn't get. You know? So, and that fucked with me, man. Yeah. It fucked with me. It got in my head because I'm like, yo, he's not reacting. Like, I'm head faking him. I'm like staring him down. I fucking made rap songs for my interviews and shit. It was so dirty, dude.
Kajan's making diss tracks and shit.
Legit, yeah, like it was so bad.
That's
Roy
fire.
McDonald looking like a little boy that a priest just fondled. Like, so bad, man.
Savage lines, too.
Bad, yeah.
Savage lines.
So much savagery. And it didn't work out in my favor. I ended up like breaking mentally in the second because he just kept coming and kept coming and kept coming, and it broke me. And he ended up whooping me and beating me in the third.
Crazy. Well, you know what, man? I think how far along did you really realize, like, you know, maybe the fear and intimidation and asshole thing isn't necessarily the best way to go for you?
Yeah, it was that fight.
You figured it was that fight?
For me, it was that fight. That was 2007, I think.
Got you.
Yeah, like December 8th, 2007.
I remember.
Yeah. Certain fights, you know, like it's been like almost 40 fights now, but there's certain ones that like really change you as a human. And that was one that really changed me as a human being and showed me a lot about myself. And I thank him for it to this day.
Made you better, got you wins in the future.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
for sure.
That fight and then the fight after that, I fought Steve Claveau. And between those two, there was a draw to Steve Claveau. Between those two fights, it just really taught me how I needed to be energetically in the fight. Like which energy system I should be in. Like what should I be feeling happy? Should I be angry? What works for me personally.
So describe that when you're going into a fight or even throughout the fight camp. What mental space are you in? Because again, you look at McGregor, like this guy is in a fucking kill him, eat him, rip his hair off. You know, like go into every facet of his life and just I was watching some footage of him and his sparring partners, who I think is like his old time buddy, and he's like talking all types of shit. Today's your off day. Hey, you're on the ground today. You're gonna be out the room today. Call the wife. You get the ice out. All this type of stuff. And I'm like, man, that's your guy. So like,
it's crazy.
What point where you're like, how did you craft your mindset?
Yeah, and for me, it's like I'm always growing and evolving, so it always flows and it's not always the same. And if I ever try to, there's been times in my career where I've been comfortable in a certain zone and then I've been experiencing something different and it scares me and I'm like, I can't get into my normal zone. And because I'm not in the moment and I'm trying to get back to something, I miss an opportunity to maybe get a higher level.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
But now my zone right now is could be kind of described as like just fuck all your shit. Fuck all your shit. You know? And before though, this is a new thing that's happening in my last fight. Just my last fight specifically.
Okay.
Before that, I was very, very playful. You know, like kid on the playground type energy. You know, I'm playing tag.
Yeah.
And it shows in my fighting style as well. And now I just realized that actually expends more energy than necessary. Because in playing tag, there's a lot of running, right? There's a lot of movement,
a lot of moving
right?
backwards, sideways.
I'm great at moving. I'm possibly the best mover in the world. But I don't need to lead with that card all the time, right? It's much easier to counter somebody when they don't know you're going to counter them, right? If I'm just moving and moving and moving and moving, he knows, okay, I can't really throw at this guy because he's just going to evade and then hit me back, right?
Yeah, you're going to wait till the third.
So now I've been utilizing a lot more pressure on people, using pressure distance and drawing that counter out.
Right.
Which I got a lot of that from McGregor. I got a lot of that from watching Roy McDonald fight Tyrone Woodley.
Oh, no way.
Right?
Okay.
Possibly one of his best performances in his entire career, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was possibly the best performance he ever had. Just so phenomenal.
Well, I mean, just like judging distance. I mean, McGregor's a great judge of distance. And I remember listening when he did that Mayweather fight, and his coach, who's not a boxing coach, I don't believe.
I don't think so.
Don't believe he's a boxing coach.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Was saying, hey, listen, there's a reason why Floyd's not, throwing X amount of shots at you around. Like, relax.
Yeah.
And that's why even this Khabib fight, I was surprised that he wasn't more aggressive and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean,
he's smart. He tried.
yeah.
I think he tried to Mayweather Khabib. I think he tried to get Khabib tired because you hear him say that in a couple interviews.
Right.
He's like, "Oh yeah, you might get tired. You think I'm gonna get tired? You might get tired. I'm ready for whatever."
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And he was so relaxed. Like his wrestling defense was on
the
point.
ground.
The round 1 and 2, his wrestling defense was on point, man. Even the three, he shut it down.
Yeah.
Right. And Khabib got tired. That's why he stopped shooting in the third. That's
I think
why
that was one fatal mistake. It gave the back, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, you watch him. I remember watching him, man. Khabib's got him, and it's just he's here. Yeah. He's like, yep, you got me here.
Whatever.
Yeah, like
calm,
keep
relax.
going.
I'm not
keep
expending
going,
energy.
Keep going.
Yeah.
I'll wait. Every round starts on the feet.
Yeah,
so
totally.
Yeah, no
exactly.
problem.
I only need one shot.
Yeah.
And that's the danger about that guy is he does only need one shot, but he seemed off, man. He seemed a little bit off.
You think so?
Just in the third round, I was expecting shots to land cleaner, and they weren't landing clean. Like he got a couple shots in, but it wasn't with the same precision that I'm used to seeing from Conor.
Oh man, he's a killer.
Fuck, is his left hand just a laser beam, man?
He's a killer, man.
Laser
he's a killer.
Especially when he backs you up on the fence, and he backed Khabib up on the fence.
Yeah.
And the shots were like kind of being picked off. And
just kind of like hitting the ear even. It was just like, it was odd. It was weird to see. I wonder what was going on. See, for me, that's the most, like, the mental warfare of it. I mean, going in there, to me, it's like, I come from a basketball background, so it's like in the game, work on instinct. You have predetermined reactions to what, because you've been training for this person, right? You don't think, right? You see that opening, right? You say, bam, get it, right? It's not a thought process, even though you are actively engaged, right? Now, I'm interested in like the pre-game and the training camp and what's going through his mind leading up to it. Like, I want to get inside that man's mind.
Yeah, right.
Like, for me, it's a huge question. We were talking right before we went on the podcast where it was like, how much of that person, how much of Conor McGregor is truly that fuck you. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Right?
How much is that really real?
Yeah.
Is that really, really real?
I don't know, man.
What do you think?
I know that there's a large portion of, like, I guarantee, like, the competitive aspect of Conor. That is him.
Has to be.
That is him because he's just been doing it for so long. If it wasn't him to begin with, he made it him, right?
Yeah.
But guaranteed there's other sides to his personality. I think he's probably, judging from what I hear about people that actually know him and are close to him, like, he's amazing to his people.
Awesome.
Like, he's really, really good to his family and his friends. He'd do anything for them, which I admire that about anybody, right? If you're a real dude like that, that's dope.
He's a father.
Yeah, he is a father, and I'm sure that has something to do with it as well.
No doubt. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say you guys have similar styles. Would you say that? I wouldn't say that.
I wouldn't say we don't have similar. There's aspects of our style that's similar. I did all his movement and stuff in his video game. Like I can copy him. I don't know if he can copy me, but I can copy him.
That's true. I don't know if he can copy your movement.
Yeah. I don't know. He doesn't have both stances. Like, he fights in both stances once in a while, but not fluid like I do.
Right. It's seamless.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
it doesn't matter what stance to me. I have the same weapons on both sides, so whatever the opponent is, I can fight on both stances.
Yeah. And you know what? That's the best part about MMA, in my opinion. It's like, it's such. You said it in your self-hired portrait. It's a growing art form. Yeah. It's moving. It's developing. It's not at its peak. How scary is that? It's not at its peak.
It's crazy, man.
You know what I mean? Like the world class athletes. And
not
like
even close.
MMA in 50 years.
Oh my god,
it's insane.
Blow your head off, dude. It's insane.
Yeah,
they're gonna be in the Olympics, dude. Like 2028, I think
it should be.
It
should be.
Yeah, it's already happening.
It should be. Yeah,
it's already happening. We've got world championships. I've coached world at the worlds like the last 4 years. Right, I've coached.
Who'd you have at the world?
Last year we had two of my students, John Nguyen,
and
Ali Wasuk.
Okay.
Both competed in the Worlds. They both got 4th place.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, in the world.
TriStar, baby.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah, and then now they're turning pro because that's one of the ways that we turn. That's pretty much the path that I use to turn my guys pro, is I want them to get tested, right? Because in the amateurs, we have the ability to test you without it really having any repercussions.
Wins
on
or losses.
Record. Yeah, nobody gives a fuck about your amateur record as soon as you go pro.
Right.
So we get a bunch of local fights, 5-6 local fights, and then if you're looking like you're good, okay, now we'll go to the nationals. Right? Okay, you won the nationals. All right, now we're going to world championships, and you're going to fight the fucking best guys in the world from all over the globe.
Different
like there's
styles,
like
different backgrounds.
40, 50 countries.
Yeah.
And they're good, dude.
Yeah.
The Bulgarians, the fucking Kazakhstanis, the Dagestanis, like they're all there,
all
man.
Different stands.
All the stands. All the stands are there. But know who fucking wins every year?
Who's that?
Sweden.
What?
Right?
I'm sorry.
I know. There's no such thing as Sweden professional fighters. Other than Gustafsson.
How do they win at the Worlds?
Because they get backing from their government. So they don't turn pro, bro. They're AMI for life. Like the guys that I'm watching at the amateurs, at the World Championships, I've seen them for the past 4 years in the finals.
Yeah.
Like they're always winning.
Gotcha.
Because it's always the same guys. They train year round. They're housed. They're like, everything's paid for. They're just...
Yeah, man.
That's what they do. That's what they do for a living.
That's weird because that fucks with your mindset, right? And so I played in Denmark. I had the same thing with Danes, man. I was playing with guys that were like 6'10", 270, mini LeBrons.
Jesus
and it's
Christ.
like getting NBA looks, getting NCAA looks. And like, I'm going to stay, in Copenhagen or play for the Bagan Bears or just hang out because government's got me. First off, like I'm set. Number one, I'm set. And all my friends are here. Why would I leave?
Yeah,
and it's almost like money's not an object.
Yeah.
Which is like kind of cool.
Totally.
In a sense. But one thing I realize is, over here we preach uncomfortability. We preach go out there, find your weaknesses, attack them, right? Get better. Over there in Scandinavia, it's kind of like, let's stay comfortable, let's stay happy, because as soon as we get ambitious, that's the death of happiness. And you're like, oh, what?
That's backwards.
Ambition, happiness. And so...
If you do it in the wrong way, that's probably true, though.
I had the same reaction you had, right? Like, what? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like, ambition makes me happy.
Yeah, totally.
Like, I love chasing. But the idea behind that is you're never satisfied, so you're never truly happy.
For sure. If you're doing it for the wrong reasons, right? If you're doing it to fill a void, that'll never fill the void, right? If you don't love yourself, being successful is not going to make you love yourself.
Right? That's a good point. So yeah, man. Those countries are just like completely different and on a completely different thing. I respect it because what do we want in this life? We want happiness. Yeah. Right. At the end of the day.
Yeah. Really.
You can be the greatest of all time. If you're not happy, you're not gonna like it. It does not matter. Yeah. So it's like, I get that, but at the same time, like as an athlete in those countries, fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Man, I was over there because I didn't get the Division I offers that I wanted.
Okay.
Here in Canada and the US.
What is that Division I? What is that?
So I was either trying to get full scholarship as full as it can be in Canada.
Okay.
So like a school out east, so like Ryerson or Carleton.
Okay.
Or I was trying to go down to like play for Portland or play for Seattle.
Got you.
And I wasn't getting those looks. I got looks, but no money, no offers. It was just kind of like, yeah, whatever.
Oh, got you.
And I was like, okay, I'm not good enough. So I was like, okay, but I got an offer to go over there and play. And I was like, yes, absolutely. But I was there because I wasn't good enough. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, no, listen, I'm here. I have a year.
Yeah.
I have a year here. I'm getting my ass back on a plane, and that's it. So I want to be as uncomfortable as possible.
For sure.
And everyone over there was like, whoa. What's wrong with you?
What the fuck, man?
You're good. You're just playing basketball and you're chilling the rest of the time. What are you doing? It's like, no. Listen, there's bigger goals here, man.
Yeah. So this isn't it.
Yeah, this isn't it. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know if there's a comparison to like a guy. Well, Bellator would be a terrible comparison because those guys get paid.
Yeah.
But it's like a guy staying amateur. It's like a guy staying amateur. It's like the bag is there. You want to go fight in the UFC, the best fighters in the world, or you want to go to Bellator and get the bag. Like, why wouldn't you want to do that? Well, because I'm comfortable making an 8-8 or a 10-10.
Yeah,
it just doesn't make any sense, right?
Big fish, small pond.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of UFC, what's next for you?
We're talking to Bellator right now.
Got you.
Yeah,
as you should be, I guess.
For sure.
I mean, like,
we're talking to a couple people though. Like, I think we've contacted ONE FC as well, and there's a couple organizations in Russia actually that might pan out.
I'm not familiar. I apologize.
Yeah, I know ACB. It's possible, but I hear some things politically or like iffy. So, we're kind of holding off on ACB. We're gonna see what happens with that organization. But there's another one. I forget what the name of it was, but there's another one that's based out of Russia.
Okay.
It's not M1, but we could possibly get into M1 as well.
Like, the thing is, like, I don't know, if people really understand, if people really watch your fights, man, you're at the top of your game right now.
Yeah. I am.
Like, you're really at the top. It's not like you're 36 and
totally
38.
Which I'm close. I'm close to that, but
you're looking like 28,
exactly,
27.
Right? It doesn't show. I don't fight like I'm 40 or something,
You look fluid. Your joints look loose.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like there's been pounding on it for, 15 years, which there has been. But
yeah, but recently, like, I've kind of adopted a different way to train, you know? Like, I do a lot of, my conditioning is done conditioning. I'm not trying to get conditioning in sparring. I'm not trying to get conditioning in rolling. That shit is just to make me sharp and to get my timing and my distance and all that.
So what's conditioning look like for you now?
I work with New Edge Alliance. Ibi Ali.
Shout out Ibi.
Yeah.
Shout out Ibi.
Beast. Fucking beast.
He'll break you.
Oh my God. So many times that man just fucking kills me.
Yeah. I can hear his voice in the back of my head right now. Yeah,
I know. I'm feeling bad because I didn't go in this week, and I should go in. And I'm like, fuck, I don't want to do it. I don't have a fight sign. But it's important to stay on it, because if you don't stay on it, then coming back is fucking the worst. It's so painful. But it's better off to just do it when you're in shape, because it's kind of fun when you're in shape. Once you're there.
Oh yeah, because you're a powerhouse, right? Yeah. Like, you're moving so
it's
well.
Just like, rah, just like 20-second break, and you're like, yeah, I'm good. Let's go. So, it's fucking awesome. Yeah. So I do that, and I sprint, and that's the majority of it. Like, Ibi's so awesome that he's able to hit so many different types of systems, and he's rehab, it's prehab, it's like power, it's endurance, it's power endurance, it's muscular endurance, explosivity. It's so many things all at the same time.
He's on a different level.
Yeah, he really is. He's by far the best trainer I've ever worked with.
Yeah, and that's high praise.
I've worked with a lot of fucking trainers, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of bullshit trainers out there too, but
yeah, totally. But most of the trainers that I've worked with have been really good.
Yeah, world class, top guys.
I find that Ibi is able to do everything really fast, and there's no bullshit. There's no like wasting time. It's no like you're like in there and you're going for like 45 minutes straight or an hour straight.
60 minutes tops.
Yeah, like straight.
Yeah.
But some of my other conditioning coaches, it'd be like a 2-hour ordeal, I don't have time for that shit.
So that's one thing. Time scarcity is one thing. I think that when it comes to conditioning, it has to be that way.
Yeah.
When it comes to refining your skills, then you can get into longer workouts. In my personal opinion, because there's a lot of teaching there.
Exactly.
That you're not actually. It's not actually physical exertion.
Right.
It's like you're showing a player or a fighter something. Okay, let me see that again.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see that again.
Yeah.
Let me see. Okay, now let me try it.
Yeah.
Right, and it's a long teaching process.
Exactly.
But like conditioning, I always laugh because players are being like, "Oh, coach, I was in the gym for 3-4 hours." I'm like, "What the fuck were you doing in there for 3-4 hours?"
Is he teaching you how to lift properly? You should fucking know that already.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's a completely different
thing. Nothing you can be doing for a 3-hour conditioning session. That's useless.
The
economy of training, right? There's a lot of things that you just don't have time for, especially in MMA, man. Like, you got to train at least 4 martial arts.
Yeah.
At least 4. And if you're only training 4, you're probably falling behind, because motherfuckers are on Taekwondo now. Motherfuckers are leg locking. Everybody's doing judo.
Yeah.
Like,
how many martial arts are there?
I
know there's like a trillion subsets.
Yeah.
But if you were to group into like,
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Like that's the thing, is like it's such a growing
lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
And that's what makes it so much fun.
So fucking awesome, man.
Right?
So awesome.
So cool.
Yeah.
So you're in top shape right now. Yeah, you're ready to go.
I'm in pretty good shape. Ready to go. I could fight in 3 weeks.
Yeah. I mean 2 fights ago you didn't take any damage.
No.
Last fight took a little damage.
Yeah.
But like
I got a cut. That's it. He hit me once clean.
Yeah.
And that cut me.
Yeah. But you're not in a situation where you need to be taking months off or
no, man.
You didn't get a Tony Ferguson.
I have to fucking take off till after Christmas. So I'm a little bit upset about.
Oh,
just because nobody's really booking late in the year. Like they've got their cards lined up already into January, and then like everything.
So you're looking at the spring
again. So
yeah, you're looking at the spring.
Yeah.
No, man, I'm looking forward to it, and I just like I love seeing world class athletes go at it.
Yeah,
like you know what I mean, and the
phenomenal.
fucking preparation. It's unparalleled, and in my opinion, there's nothing like it. Like in life.
Totally.
And that's what just gets me fired up about it.
It'd be cool to see everybody's prep. I wish they could do like a countdown on every fucking fighter. I can see what everybody's doing.
I know, and like
the
thing about fighting and sports in general is it's holistic. It's 360. If you're doing it correctly and on a professional level, it's like, what are you doing for the mental aspect? What are you doing like for the physiological aspect? What are you doing? Like, there's so many aspects.
Exactly.
Like, what's your sleep cycles?
Yeah.
Like,
right.
Like, what's your nutrition? Like, you know what I mean? There's like, there's a million things, and that's why for me, I like things that are multiple angle problems where you can never really get it perfect.
Yeah, you'll never get it perfect.
But it's fun trying anyway.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
It's like, you gotta
maybe I can
get it. Yeah.
One
and
day.
at the end, you feel so great, right? Like you say, you go on these workouts with Ibby.
Yeah.
And he's killing you, man. I've been in those workouts. He fucking murders people.
Yeah.
He murders people.
Murder.
Don't. I was gonna be like, yeah, go train with him. Don't. You don't want it. You don't want it.
Do, but prepare thyself. Prepare. Drink lots of water, but not too close to the workout.
Yeah.
Right? Don't drink a whole bunch of water in the workout. It's coming back out.
Man, maybe go to like Good Life and get a couple of those or something. I don't know. You
don't
gotta
just
chill
jump
out.
right in.
I've had
Dangerous.
I love it, man. I like Ibby a lot because he's an outlier. You know, he's a different person, and I don't have a lot of experience with him. I met a couple of times, but he's worked me out once, and honestly, I don't know how these people develop, these outliers develop, and you're one of them yourselves. And that's the type of people we're trying to get on this podcast. Is those people that see life in a fundamentally different way, and to the general public, you might not see that. You know, like for instance, a lot of the work you're doing with Project Spearhead and the way you approach your fights and the way you talk to your students, that's all, maybe it doesn't fit into everybody. Everyone's like, okay, well, why is he doing it this way? And then this is like this. And then, like, wait, he's on top of his game, but he's out the UFC. How does that work, right?
Right.
And I think it's masterful in that, from my perspective as a guy that doesn't have a background with you, is like, okay, no, he's moving completely different than everybody else. He's not even thinking the same way.
Yeah, totally.
Right? What made you like that? How did you do that? How did you, like, it's so easy in life to get stuck into the monotony or life just gets you. You know what I mean? It swallows you up. This world is like that.
I've just always like, I don't know, I have a bit of an issue with authority. I have a bit of an issue with conforming. Yeah. Right? Like high school was difficult, not because it was hard to classes. Like I never had problems in classes. It was just like conforming to everything that they wanted me to be. It's always been a problem. Whatever everybody else is doing, I want to do the opposite thing. Yeah. You know, and I've always been like that. I don't know why. I have no idea.
I get it, man.
But it serves me, it serves me. Sometimes it fucks me up for sure. Sometimes I get in shit, but it's definitely. I'd rather be like this than the other way. If I was the other way, I'd be in some fucking cubicle somewhere.
No, man, you wouldn't be living.
Yeah,
you would not be living. You would not be alive, right?
No,
In my mind, when I make the calculation and when I do outlandish shit that maybe doesn't make sense at face value, it's like, man, either this wins astronomically because it's a different route that no one's taking.
Totally.
Or it's going to fuck me. But if it does, I'm going to come back so much better.
Totally.
And I'll find the angle. So
exactly.
it's a win-win. It's a win-win.
Exactly.
So you said high school, but like, that can't just be it. There's something else there. Don't tell me it's just high school.
It's not just high school. No. Like I felt this since I was a child. Like I don't know. The family I grew up in wasn't super regular. Like just even like back in the 80s, right? I was born in 84. My mom's white. My dad's black. At least he looks completely black. He's actually part First Nations as well. He's a quarter Blackfoot. But nobody really knows that. He identifies as black. He's from Chicago. Yeah. So even just growing up a mixed kid up north, not down
Prince
here.
Rupert?
No. I grew up in Burns Lake. I was born in Victoria.
Okay.
When I was 2, we moved up to Burns Lake. So that's like 2,000 people, 2,500 people. It's a mill town.
Yeah.
Right? Like nitty gritty. Milltown.
I grew up the same way, man. Small town,
Yeah, right. So there's a lot of Native people, a lot of white people, no black people.
Right.
We were the only black people.
So
there, I already didn't feel like I fit in. Right. So immediately I'm not feeling like I fit in, and so there was like some of the time I would try to fit in, and other times I would just be like, fuck, I want to do the opposite that everybody else is doing. You know, like hip hop was really big. I fucking loved hip hop when I was like 10 and nobody liked it. And everybody else started liking it. I was like, fuck hip hop. I like Marilyn Manson. I'm going to paint my fingernails black and wear fucking spike collars and shit.
I can't see it. I
know, right? I know. I can barely believe that this happened.
Sure.
But I guarantee you it happened.
There's pictures somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere for sure.
Somewhere hidden.
Yes.
Somewhere hidden.
Hopefully hidden.
Yeah. I got you, man.
Basement.
I get it. I get it. Like, honestly, people remember hip hop is pop music now.
Yeah, man.
That's fucking crazy. First off,
insane and actually kind of dope.
Yeah, it's cool. It is cool. I don't mean to shit on it, but in the 90s, early 2000s, man, I'm a white guy. I'm just a white guy. I'm European. There's not a damn thing interesting about me. I'm just white, and it would just be a little white dude like, you know, bumping 50 Cent and you know, The Chronic was just like, dude, what are you doing? Like, and then my mom would be like, yo, it's a phase, like, don't worry about that. Like, Mom, I still fuck with that album, man. The Chronic 2001, that's my shit. Get Rich or Die Trying, that's album. My shit. Get out of here. I bug her all the time. And I remember I smoked weed when I was a kid. I still do, but
for sure.
But when I was like a kid, and she'd be like, she was never too worried about it. She showed me how to roll my first joint.
No way.
Yeah, she's that's like, dope. Oh yeah, like he'll smoke a little bit right now, but he'll get over it. Mom, still smoking.
But it never fuck with your life. You're doing good.
Hell no, of course not. Of course not. And it's all good. But as soon as hip hop started to get commercialized, like the R&B thing, remember in the 2000s, it was like, I was like, but like you still had that rough raw, you know, like you're like, okay, no, that's commercial, and then like, this is what I fuck with.
Biggie.
Yeah, I mean, hell is hot, you know what I mean? So this is where I'm at. And then it's like, it kind of progressed to a point where it's like, now I don't know how much of a difference. Obviously, if you're a hip hop head, which I know you are, you know, like, you know, there's a lot of different subsets, but like the most popular music right now is hip hop and mumble rap. Yeah. Like, sorry. Yeah. But there is still, you know, Jay-Z's still coming out with this. You know, Tip just came out and stuff like there is still, but even just the fact that it's pop, I'm like trying to like fuck with more like Caribbean music. I'm trying to fuck with like more like Afro beats. I'm big on Afro beats and the Caribbean music. I'm not even gonna lie. Yeah, you know I love Afro beat. Rock got me onto it actually. Oh yeah, word. So I always see it on Instagram, whatever. Shit, it's a vibe. All she listens to. It's a vibe. It's a fucking wicked vibe. And like the Spanish music. Yeah. Everything, right? And so I know the part of me is like, you know, you grow musically. And I'm like, like I want to go fuck with this for a bit. Totally. And I know another part of me is like, I'm just saying, I like this because fuck this. For sure. Like, even like when hip hop started getting real pop, like when G Unit came out, oh man, like that's when I feel it started getting hella mainstream. 03? Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And I was just like, yo, fuck mainstream hip hop. Fuck all mainstream hip hop. I only listen to underground. Yeah. I would only listen to underground, like Esoteric, Dilated Peoples, oh my God, Immortal Technique, Cannabis. Still going hard. Remember Cannabis? Can I Bust, right? Yes, sir. Fuck Niggonometry. Yes, let's go. That was my shit, bro. That was hard. Like old school Eminem. Before he blew up. Oh, like Infinity. Yeah. Jealousy Woes and shit. Fucking sick. This shit was dope. Yeah, because it was lyrical, right? Like, I've been writing for a long time. I started writing poetry when I was like fucking 10 or something, and then eventually that turned into hip hop, right? Fire. So I'd be writing this shit, and I'm like listening to fucking 50 Cent, and at this point I never knew fuck all about like flows and changing flows and like really riding on beats structure and shit. And stuff. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was just like, yo, this motherfucker just rhymed ass with pass. Like, fuck this guy. Yeah. You know, he's a fucking great, like, middle schooler, you know? You're fucking elementary. I want to hear the fucking shit that's coming out of the university. Yeah. You know? Right? So, I was more about that, like, early 90s, late 80s, like, we give a fuck about the lyrical talent of MCs. And the culture. Yeah. Like rappers are hood reporters. Yeah, remember when that was a thing? Is that a thing anymore? I don't think that's a couple.
Yeah.
Who you thinking? I know there is.
Yeah, there's a couple. There's obviously Kendrick.
Okay, obviously Kendrick, Cole,
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
I think of like the only guy that could, like, was bona fide underground. You know Murs?
Yeah. Slug and Murs, man, back in the day.
Yeah. That was fire. And there's a couple guys coming up, but like, it's a weird. I'm like really uncomfortable with it. It's like a weird, drug glorification.
Totally.
Like I'm just like
fucking strange, man.
I don't get it.
Artists like Lil Xans, like I saw that motherfucker in concert, and I didn't go to see him. I went to see somebody else. Obviously, I had no idea who this motherfucker was. And then in his concert, like I've never seen such a terrible performance in my life. You're not a performer.
Yeah,
it's like this. I think it was Lil Xans anyway, because they all fucking look the same and sound the same to me. Right?
I don't know.
And they all start with Lil.
Yeah,
right?
Lil.
But
yeah,
he's like a little brown dude.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So South
Indian
Asian
guy?
dude. Yeah, Indian guy.
Oh shit.
I think he's Indian. Some sort of South Asian type culture.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he's just walking around on stage, just fucking pretty much talking, and everything's fucking auto-tuned, whatever, right? Yeah. But it's backup track, like this.
Yeah.
Why are you here? What the fuck is the point? Like, there's no energy, like zero energy, zero connection to the crowd,
no interaction.
Yeah, nothing, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is the worst fucking performance I've ever seen in my life.
I'm actually glad you say that, because I'm just like I've just hated from afar. I've never had like that shit. Some people just send me tracks like, yo, check this out. I know you don't like this, but just check this out. I'll give it like 5 seconds. I'll turn this shit off.
So bad.
I can't do it, man. I'm like, I'm kind of a purist,
Yeah.
Like, and I can't get behind. I can't get behind
lyrical content, man. Like, I might listen to the track for a week and it's over. I'll never listen to that track again.
Here's the thing. So you want to, like, if you want to get a track that's bumping, go, like, T.I.'s new album is bumping. Like, I haven't heard it. Oh yeah, for sure. Like, he's got some tracks with Gotti. He's got a lot of tracks with Meek and stuff. And it's just like, you want, like, so the argument is, okay, yeah, I can listen to lyrical, but it's not going to be bumping. You know what I mean? Like, I can't play this in the club, Like, I can't play this, like, when I'm working out. That I'm like, fuck, yes, you can. You're not looking.
Did you, Kendrick? What?
Yeah,
what?
Like, you're not looking. Yeah,
every fucking track is bumping in the fucking club.
Everywhere. So, like, yeah, I know, man. And then just the glorification of, like, lean and stuff. I just can't do it. Crazy, I'm like, man. For me, I'm like if it doesn't come from the ground, don't put it in your body.
It's not good for you.
It's not good. It's not a good idea.
No.
And I've been ridiculed for saying that, and I will fight for that to the death, honestly.
Totally.
I mean, I maybe it's kind of how I was raised and stuff, but like, weed has never fucked me up. It will never fuck me up. Get out of here.
Like if you're completely abusing it and doing it for the wrong reasons, anything you can drink too much water and
too much
die,
coconut
man.
water and I might die.
Anything, bro. So that's not a fucking argument, right? As a medicinal plant, right? A recreational plant, there is fuck all wrong with cannabis.
Exactly.
The only people that believe there's anything wrong with cannabis, or at least say publicly that there's anything wrong with cannabis, they have a fucking agenda.
Yeah, lobbyists and shit.
Exactly.
Yeah,
they have a fucking alternate agenda.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure I used to hear it. I'm sure you heard it coming up. Like, I remember just the old head back on, like, in a campfire and just being like, yo, man, trust me, they can use hemp for everything.
Totally.
Like, yo, marijuana cures all this shit.
Totally, dude.
And you just be like, I was just a kid, and I just remember like, yeah, whatever, man. Like, I hear you, like, yeah, it's cool, but like, what?
Right? It's fucking like, and that's the thing, like, everybody's so excited about this, like, cannabis legalization, right? It's got its positives and negatives.
I mean, October 17th.
Yeah, it's like fucking tomorrow.
Oh yeah, by the time this is out, it'll be out.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Which there's some good things about this, right? There's some good things about this.
What's the hot take?
The thing that I'm really excited, I don't give a fuck about cannabis being legal. I want hemp to be completely fucking legal and highly used, right? Hemp is the fucking truth.
Yes.
I just bought a new fucking stock in hemp, actually, because everybody's going all crazy in this weed market, right? Everybody's going all crazy on canopy growth and shit. Like, canopy's
Aurora,
good. I've been canopy, been in for a while.
All
But I just bought this new company called Earth Sciences Tech Incorporated.
Ooh.
Yeah, very interesting company.
New company?
Yeah.
Please do tell.
I don't know how new. They're not like maybe a year and a bit old.
Okay.
But they've got so many different platforms. So they own like 3 different companies, right? And maybe 4 different companies, and they all kind of do different things. So they have like different arms of this company. One is just to get to CBD, mainly CBD infused products to consumers, to like the masses,
distribution,
selling it to like 7-Elevens and shit like that, in chocolates, in drinks, in things of that nature, right? So that's like their money maker, right? And then they've got a couple other companies. I forget exactly what they do, but then there's one arm of it. One of the companies that they own, they're creating different medical tools. Right? Yeah, different medical tools that are they're one of the things that they're doing is they're creating a home testing kit for different sexually transmitted diseases.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so like you don't gotta go into the doctor for fucking chlamydia pill. You just test yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Like urine or something.
Yeah. You just piss on this thing, and but it's in home, right? Like there's some things on the internet I think that you can send off.
Not incredibly
educated. Just since I started researching this company, right?
Sure.
But yeah, this you can just do it all at home, so that you don't got to get embarrassed or anything. And fucking
that makes sense. That's a great look.
And they're also like they're using a whole bunch of different hemp products, but for like the medical side that they're selling to hospitals and shit like that, right? So they've got a really interesting vision, this company, which is why like the stock is fucking worth nothing right now. It's worth like, I think it's at like $1.70 or something.
That's actually that's not bad.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, that's good. There's no names, but there's a lot of very interesting. We do a lot of private placements at my firm.
Okay.
So I can't actually say names.
Yeah.
Because that's illegal.
Okay.
But there's a lot of very interesting vertically integrated distribution cannabis companies that are coming up. Usually American companies that want to be listed on the CSE.
Yes. Yeah.
Because again, we're kind of a haven.
Exactly.
For that. So, and what's actually really interesting for like more sophisticated investors is there's a couple companies coming out right now that are. Oh man, this is a fucking MMA podcast turned into a finance podcast.
Whatever, right?
3 hours long, gives a shit. It's I don't know if you're familiar with a REIT, a real estate income trust.
No.
It's basically the way it works is it's a fund where you essentially you pull cash together and then that fund purchases income producing properties. So like apartment complexes.
Setting one up in Australia right now, actually.
It's a good move.
Yeah,
it's a good move. I don't know, but it's a good move. And the way that works is basically, again, you just buy the property, lease it or rent it out, and it just is a constant revenue stream.
Yeah.
And it's set up as essentially a holding company. And so there's a lot of very interesting companies, no names, but call me if you have my number.
You can tell me after.
If you're a client, get on the phone. There's a lot of very interesting companies that are setting it up like that, where they're purchasing farms, very scalable farms that, I mean, flower is one thing, but just the CBD.
Yeah, man.
The guys that are producing shatter and then also infused drinks.
Yeah.
CBD infused drinks. The soft, what's it called? Soft drink market is just absolutely so massive. So where that space goes is amazing. And just to transition back, like I think that for guys like yourself, not to say you're nearing retirement, but I'd say you're at the halfway mark or past the halfway mark for sure. Well, I don't know, man.
I'm not gonna fight till I'm 50. I've been fighting for 17 years, bro.
17 years?
17 years.
Oh my god. See, I was thinking it was like 12. Okay, because I could see you fighting at 42. So that's why I was like, I could see you being that guy, just being being a master. You know what I mean?
I highly doubt it. It's possible. If I can sunshine the game, I'll do it. But
fair enough. But guys are in the later stages of their career to transition now.
Yeah.
At like high level athletes, because that's the thing. How many NBA guys, NFL guys do you hear about making this bag, and then all of a sudden the thing is like you never had money. You never correct me if I'm wrong. You didn't come up in a rich household.
No, man. I grew up on the res, bro.
Exactly. So if you've never had money, if $20 was a lot of money to you growing up, like you don't know how to spend money when you get hundreds of thousands or millions, right? So that's an amazing way to transition, and something I think is paramount and slept on. And like even the way you approach it with the UFC, people have no idea what fighters are actually getting paid.
Yeah,
like if you're on a prelim,
man.
so you know what? You're the expert. So let me ask you: if you're on a prelim card, 229. If you're one of the not on Fight, what would be on Fight Pass?
Yeah, Fight Pass.
Yeah, would be on Fight Pass. If you're one of the first prelims, what's your bag? If
it really depends on your contract. They'll shove like Joanna Jędrzejczyk on the Fight Pass.
Okay, sure, but like,
right?
is there a range?
The bottom line, the minimum wage in the UFC is $10,000 a show, $10,000 a win, and that changed in 2015. Before it was like 6, I think, or 8. Might have been 8.
That's murder.
So now it's 10 and 10.
That's still murder.
And my last contract, the last fight I had was at 16 and 16. Right, that's like my 7th fight in the UFC, and I'm still making $16,000 a show, $16,000 a win, and I lost. Although I didn't lose, but I lost. So then I walk home with $16,000, and I gotta pay managers. I gotta pay for my fight camp, nutrition, massage, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So really, you end up leaving with probably like $10,000.
Yeah.
You know, for that however long.
Plus the fight camp. It's like, what the fuck?
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But it's all depends on the person, right? Like everybody has the ability to negotiate their own contract, and some people have a lot of leverage, right? Like some people's managers will have a lot of leverage. Like my manager has a decent amount of leverage just because he also has John Jones, he has Tyron Woodley, he has Demetrius Johnson. He's got a bunch of
big names.
Yeah. First round management. So they're like one of the bigger management firms in the game. And they're fucking awesome, actually.
Awesome.
Fucking awesome.
You listen, man, that doesn't always happen.
Yeah. I've hated managers. No. I was so reluctant to get in with these managers. I tried to fire them like probably 6 weeks after I signed with them. I'm like, yo, you're not doing shit. Yeah. Fucking get out of here. You can't do fucking shit for me. And they talked to me, and they got me to stick around. I'm so happy they stuck around, bro, because they're so useful.
Awesome.
Especially for me, because I'm not like just this normal fighter that doesn't get into any shit and like doesn't do anything outlandish, right? So it was really good to have some people on my team that have my back, that can be a bit of a middleman with the UFC, because if I'm just talking to the UFC directly, then their tempers can flare and things. I can say things that are not the right things I need to be saying. Not always the most politically correct person.
Yes, but you are composed.
Yeah.
You are composed. So if you watch your interviews, you may be saying some politically incorrect things that might get you in trouble with the man.
Yeah.
Air quotes, but you are not out here whiling and just, going. Like, you're calculated in your moves. You understand what you're saying. It's not just blatant bullshit that you're spitting in your mouth.
Fucking crazy
Pause. Bastard. I didn't say it.
He's so nuts. I fucking love him.
Yeah.
But fuck, he's crazy as shit.
And you know what? Cool. I get that too, for sure. But I appreciate how calculated you are.
Yeah,
I mean, just watching, 229. I'm sitting on the couch. Girlfriend asked me like, hey, how much these guys make? And I'm like, shit, I'm gonna ask Kajan. You know what I mean? But it's like, I'm thinking in my mind, she's like, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million.
Fuck.
And she's like, well, I'm just thinking like, how many million people are watching this pay-per-view? Like the pay-per-view is like 65.
Yeah.
Like these guys got to be making at least a couple mil.
You would think.
And I'm
we should be.
And
there's enough money to be paying us $1 million or 750 grand. There's enough money there.
Versus 80 grand.
Yeah. Versus 20 grand.
Versus 20 grand.
Versus fucking 10 grand.
You know what? Actually, yeah.
Like I would say the majority of the roster is making under 40 and 40. That's the vast majority. Most of us are making under 30 and 30. Right. The average career in the UFC is 3 fights.
Wow.
Yeah,
oh my god.
That's the average career in the UFC. So most of the people that are going in, most of the fighters that have fought in the UFC, if you only get 3 fights, you're not going to get up to that high pay grade.
Right.
It's going to take you fucking 10 fights to get up to that high pay grade, unless you Conor McGregor the game, unless you Ronda Rousey the game.
Unless you're a mega star. No, I get it. So you might as well just go to Bellator. Okay, wait, hold up. We'll get to Bellator in a second. I got to ask you first though. So like someone like Michelle Watterson.
Yeah.
Is there a divide between what females get paid and males get paid? Is that
from what I've seen on the outside looking in? It seems like men get paid more.
Okay, is that a real? Because that can be a real thing in regular white collar jobs to an extent. Now I'm tiptoe around this because there are psychological factors that women statistically go for less ambitious jobs in certain situations, and or don't feel comfortable for asking for that pay raise. Like, there's a lot of societal, psychological factors that go into there, right? Like, it's not like, trust me, I work in wealth management. I see the incomes every fucking time. It's, your income, 120K, spouse's income, 40K. Shit is real.
Yeah.
I'm not saying shit is not real. I'm just saying there's a lot of factors that people just kind of don't understand, and that we jump to conclusions too easy. But looking from the outside looking in, I'm looking at these female athletes, and they're fucking beasts.
Yeah.
Like, they are every bit the fighter that, that these male athletes are.
Yeah. And maybe not in skill, not always in skill. Because there's a lot of highly skilled females, but they're a little bit behind just because we've had so much more time to develop. Because we've been at the top of the game.
Let me reword that. They're putting in every amount of effort. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't tell me that this person's putting in less effort and then, deserves to be paid less.
Yeah, no, it's not that.
Excuse me, yeah.
And it shouldn't even really be on skill. It doesn't really matter. Skill doesn't translate into money.
Good point. Good point.
Asses in seats translates into money. How many people are showing up to watch the girls fight?
Oh yeah,
so fucking many. The highest ranking tough in the last, I don't know, fucking 15 toughs was like the chick tough.
Yeah,
the one where they brought females in, right? And every time there's a female fight, everybody wants to watch it.
Sells, man.
That shit sells because A, they fucking scrap. Yeah. B, half the fucking dudes just want to fuck these girls.
Yeah, they're hot.
Yeah. And there's a lot of women that are tuning in too, because now it's something that resonates with them more. They're like, oh yeah, I want to watch the women fight.
Yeah, fuck
you know? So I think I think they should probably have higher wages. From what I've seen, I don't see everybody's paycheck.
Sure.
Sometimes these people will post all the wages on some sort of website.
Yeah.
Right. And not all of those are right, because they've gotten mine wrong a couple times. So I know they're not all correct all the time.
Right.
But I remember when Ronda was champ, her pay on paper paid from the commission, it was still like 50 and 50 or 60 and 60 when she had defended the belt. Like, fucking hell.
See, no, that's the only thing I had on my mind when I asked you that question. That was my only point of reference.
Right. And she's getting paid in other ways. Like, guaranteed she's getting back end bonuses, and also the pay-per-view. She got cuts of the pay-per-view, which is like $2 million. Right.
Yeah.
But still, it shouldn't just be on your pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Right. If not enough people tune in, you should still be getting paid at least $1 million. At fucking least.
Here's the thing, like,
crazy.
People don't understand. It's like, so what do you do for a living? You go out and you're fit for a living and you go and you fight somebody? No. Listen, you're putting, like, your mental health at risk. You're getting punched in the head. People, like, I will always defend, not that I know shit about shit, but I will always defend whenever someone says about fighters or athletes, especially fighters, though, where they're just like, no, listen, their life is easy. They just have a fight camp and then they jerk off the rest of the year. It's like, no, you don't understand. They have to be in here. Like, don't tell me it's not for the money. It should be for the money, because you're putting yourself at risk. You can die in that ring.
Yeah.
You can die. It's happened before. It will happen again. You can die in that ring. Don't tell me that you shouldn't be going for the bag. Totally. Come in, make your legacy, master your craft, get out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and it's not that you should do it for the money.
No, but it has to be.
You need to be compensated
100%
for what you're doing. Like, and even if I would be cool with not getting paid.
What?
I would be cool with if they're not making shit. If I was fighting for a promotion, if, like, for instance, the UFC never blew up like it did, right? And there's no massive MMA organization, nobody's making any money. They're making their win on a show, lose on a show, win on a show, lose on a show, like it is on the regional scene. I'm not gonna go in there and ask for fucking millions of dollars.
Yeah, man.
Fuck no.
Fuck, I respect you for that, man.
But I was doing this shit for free for years.
Yeah, okay, sure.
For years.
Yeah.
So, but that's not the case, right?
Yeah.
They just got reevaluated, I think, at $7 billion. The company's worth now $7 billion. Yeah. Up from 4.2 a couple years ago.
300 million TV deal.
Yeah. No, the TV deal is 1.5 billion.
What?
1.5 billion.
The ESPN Plus deal is 300 million. Am I
Are you
wrong?
sure? I'm pretty sure
You're
it's
probably
1.5
right.
billion.
You're probably wrong.
That's what
probably right.
That's what I remember reading anyway. But
So we need, yeah. You're probably right.
We need somebody like on
We
Joe
need
Rogan's
producer
podcast.
Jamie.
Google this.
Yeah. Get it come up.
Yeah,
Video
come
pops
up
down.
on his
Google
screen.
comes up.
For sure.
How much is
That's
UFC
the dream.
TV
It's the
deal?
dream. It's a dream for my podcast too. One day.
There you go.
One day.
Hey man, yo, Shaq.
Yeah.
I would love to have this guy on.
Yeah, he's dope, man.
First off, man, I listened to the podcast. I'm like, for the test of a podcast for me is you got to make me laugh. You have to make me look stupid. So I'll be at work or I'll be walking or I'll be somewhere and you got to just make me bust out laughing. Just be like, man, these guys are fucking clowns. You guys do that, man. It's like, I'm like, what the fuck is this guy
fucking
saying?
hilarious, man.
He's
I
good
forget
shit.
he's so young sometimes. 'Cause he's like 22, man.
Yeah, fuck
He's
yeah.
fucking a kid, bro.
Hey, that's a great,
He's
that's a great,
beast, though.
it's
He
a
does
great
the whole
podcast.
thing. It's not even
does
my
he?
podcast. It's his podcast. Like,
That fuck yeah.
like I just show. I'm like the permanent guest. He's fucking booking everybody. He's handling the marketing. He does everything, man. I'm so grateful for the guys. Fucking awesome.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing. But yeah, man. Just to transition back, I want to get into because again, I'm not an MMA guy, but I want to understand what you see as a fighter, and how you're so involved with Project Spearhead because that's something for me personally. Like you said earlier, you're a fight the power type of guy.
Yeah.
I am too by nature. Has got me into some trouble in the past.
Definitely.
But
It always will.
But I truly believe it. It's not like, oh, this is my identity and this is like, it's like, nah, there's something wrong here. And if we can identify what's wrong, then we can fix it. And 9 times out of 10, something's wrong because someone's being exploited because it's profitable.
Yeah, totally.
In my experience. Now, again, I'm not a 60-year-old sitting on a porch being like, no, I've seen it all. I'm just a kid. So from your perspective, how do you see the UFC, how it is now, and how do you see it? How would you like to see it? What's the transition that needs to happen, in your opinion, from a fighter's perspective? How is it now, and how can we change it, or how should it change?
Okay, so the main thing is fighters need a voice of some sort, right? There's a couple different issues. Just with the way it is right now, say there's no change to the structure of the sport because the structure itself is flawed. But let's say there's no change to the structure of the sport.
Okay. Come back to that.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll come back to that. The fighters need a voice at the table so that they can be heard because so many of these decisions that are made, like, okay, early weigh-in, late weigh-in, right? That's so basic, right? It's just a very small issue. Should we all weigh in at 9 a.m. and have more time to rehydrate? Or should we weigh in at 5 p.m. and not have more time to rehydrate? No brainer fucking question. But it doesn't really matter what the answer is. The fighters should be consulted when these things are being talked about.
Sure.
Right? So I believe that if there was some sort of body like a union or an association, whatever the case may be, that could collectively bargain with the UFC on issues like this, it would be fucking huge. It would be huge. There would be implications all over the game. They wouldn't just be able to do whatever they want to a specific fighter. And then if that fighter has leverage, okay, now that fighter can fight back. If they do something to one fighter, now they're doing it to all of us. So the union can start shutting them down, or the association can shut them down. But even with that, the monopoly that the UFC has is still intact, right? So it's difficult for us to just go to the table and be like, okay, well, we believe that everybody that steps in the octagon deserves minimum 50 grand. That's the new bottom line, right?
It's not outlandish.
Not outlandish at all,
Yeah.
right? It should probably be higher than that.
Yeah.
But let's just say 50 grand is the bottom line.
Sure.
And they're like, fuck that. Okay. Are we going to strike?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Are we going to strike? Do we have the potential to strike? Does this union have any teeth?
Are we protected legally?
Right?
Yeah.
Like we're protected legally. We're allowed to strike, but there's people are going to want to cross the line. We're fucking fighters, man. Nobody's balling.
Yeah.
So people need to feed their families and shit. People are going to cross the line. People are going to go to work. They're going to pull fighters from other organizations. They're going to fill all the fucking spots.
Yeah.
Just having that alone isn't going to solve the problem. Problem needs to be solved by having more competition in the marketplace. That's huge. right?
Interesting to hear you say that. That's
Right?
really interesting to hear you say that.
Because there's competition, even though all these other sports, basketball, for instance, let's take basketball, they have a union or a players association. I forget which one. But
NBAP, National Basketball Association. No, NP. I don't know. Fuck it.
yeah, whatever. They have one of them.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Derek Fisher's the president. I know that.
there you go. So, but when a player goes into free agency, they have how many teams are in the NBA? 30. So there's 30 different buyers now. There's competition. There's a bidding war that ensues.
Oh, more the overseas markets are
Right,
crazy.
and so there's even more than just the NBA. There's a lot of competition in this marketplace. In the UFC, UFC has a 90% market share.
And who's the other 10?
The other 10 is made up of like ONE FC, Bellator, maybe World Series of Fighting, or now the PFL that they've turned into.
Gotcha.
Right. ACB, M1. There's a couple other organizations, but
diddly fucking squad.
Yeah, they're very, very small. Now, without that competition is what's really drives up pay. Like that's the only thing that's ever really affected people's wages, right? So that needs to change. Just the amount of control that the UFC has over the rankings. Because they don't control the rankings. The rankings are controlled by 20 or so journalists that the UFC has picked and also work within the UFC.
Propaganda.
Yes, and if the UFC doesn't like what they do on this rankings, then okay, you're no longer able to be within this group. You're also no longer able to come to the UFC and promote. Your press passes are going to be revoked.
Damn.
Right? They have the ability to do that. I don't know if they're doing it, but they have the ability to do it.
I don't know. I don't talk to Dana personally.
Right? Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Which I don't.
Yeah.
But they have the ability to do it. So they can control the rankings, and they have controlled the rankings when it comes to a couple different fighters and punished people with these rankings, removing people out of title shots, giving people title shots that don't deserve it. There's no outside independent sanctioning body for these things, right?
Yeah, for sure. I agree completely.
It's too much control. You give any human that much control, there's going to be some sort of corruption.
So I completely agree. I think I'm stealing this from Teddy Atlas, and he said there's no... Teddy Atlas is a famous boxing coach. Yes. If you don't know, greatest of all time. There's no separation of church and state.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's really no separation of church and state. Another thing, again, Teddy Atlas is a great trainer, so I've known about him for a while because I just fucking love that guy.
Yeah, he's great.
He gets fired up, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's
for
like,
sure.
Frickin', you know, I love it. And he says, yeah, again, there's no separation of church and state. So again, a complete monopoly. It's a dictatorship. It is a dictatorship, right?
Yeah.
And the other thing too, which hurts me the most, because I've seen professional basketball players that are journeymen in Europe, and it's not glorious.
Yeah.
And so I think, not that there's a complete parallel there, but I will always draw the parallel to basketball. Yeah. To me, it's like, if you're a journeyman, say a guy like yourself making $16,000 or whatever it is, or $30,000 a fight. If you lose, you gotta go all the way back here. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like oh, okay, like McGregor's gonna lose and he'll get another shot at Khabib maybe, if you know what I mean. Like if you're a journeyman and you're really just trying to feed your family and you're not a mega star, you're at the back of the line.
Yeah.
And that there's a fundamental issue with that.
Totally.
Because that becomes a human rights thing. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not like, oh yeah, you get fired here, just go get hired here. It's not like that,
no,
right?
Man,
and
it's not like that.
I have nothing to do with fighting. I don't know dick about dick, but there's something that hurts me when I see that. You know what I mean? It's like, that's wrong.
Yeah, it's an issue, right? It's an issue. And there's a lot of issues within the structure of MMA. All of which are addressed by the Ali Act. Well, not all, but the majority of which are addressed by the Ali Act.
Okay.
Which is an act that now covers boxing, right? Okay. It's made famous by Muhammad Ali, obviously.
If you don't know that, you're fucking you're out of here.
Right? And that's the reason why we have things like Mayweather promotions, where Mayweather is the fighter, but he's also the promoter, so he's making $70 million on the show because he's making money on both sides.
Right.
And that happens because the fighter is allowed to go wherever. The contracts in boxing can only be at 1 year. 1 year's a max contract, right? If you want to win the title in UFC, there's going to be a championship clause. You fight for that belt, you win that belt, automatic re-sign. They will say you fight for the belt, and it's the last fight in your contract. That belt, having that belt, gives you a lot of, makes you hot in the streets, makes everybody want to bring you into their organization. Yeah. But they're not able to, because there's going to be a championship clause which forces you to negotiate with them first, and they will re-sign you for X amount of fights, or
they'll strip you.
Yeah, or they'll strip you. Yeah, and even if they don't strip you, even if you leave, do you think the belt comes with you?
Fuck no.
No, it's the UFC's belt, right? It's the UFC's belt. The UFC controls the belt. They control the title. They control exclusive long-term contracts for all of the athletes. And they control the rankings. Those three things are the biggest issue in all of MMA.
Okay. Too
much corruption. There's too much possibility for corruption.
I understand what you're saying.
Too much control. Right? So if there was an independent sanctioning body like boxing has,
sure,
right? I win the UFC title. Okay? I'm fucking hot in the streets. I had that contract I had was just for that one fight.
Yeah.
Right? Now, okay, Bellator wants me to fight their champion.
Yeah.
We'll fight for the unified belt now.
Yeah.
Right? We'll unify the titles.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, now
Fuck, that'd be sick.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be so sick.
Imagine Rory McDonald is the welterweight champion in Bellator right now. Yeah. He beat Tyrone Woodley, who's now the UFC champion. Under the Ali Act, both of them could say, fuck Bellator, fuck the UFC. We're gonna promote our own fucking fight because the world is gonna want to watch this, and we're gonna make all the fucking money. So the fighter becomes the one with the fucking power.
Yeah.
Not the promoter, and then the fighter's just there fucking begging for fucking scraps.
Man, it reminds me of the fucking record industry way back in the day.
Yeah.
Way back in the day, where you're just a slave to it.
Totally. It was a slave trade. And now people are like, fuck signing a deal.
Yeah.
Right? Chance the Rapper doesn't have a fucking deal.
Crazy.
He's independent, bro, and he's killing it.
Yeah, make him millions on millions. Tens of millions.
Yeah. And he has complete creative control. Nobody's telling him what to do. Nobody's telling him what to say. He's his own man.
Yeah.
You know, and that's possible for us too as fighters.
Yeah.
It's possible, but we need the Ali Act to happen.
Sure. I agree with everything you're saying here. Now let me ask you maybe a sticky question, because this happens in corporate all the time.
Yeah.
Are fighters in a position, or even, I'm sure execs are fighters and promoters in a position where they have to sign NDAs, non-disclosure agreements?
I've never signed an NDA for fighting,
well,
except for the Ultimate Fighter.
Damn sure. Oh,
except for the Ultimate Fighter, it's like a $5 million NDA.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's up, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah. Well, and I can't talk about anything that happened on that show that wasn't shown on television.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
See, that's what I was thinking the UFC did.
No, they do not.
That's interesting.
They do not.
I would assume they would.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
For what, though? What would they be trying to protect?
Well, obviously, that's part of the rawness that sells the UFC. Like, I mean, fuck, McGregor, holy shit.
Right?
I get that, but I feel as if everyone, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just people that kind of have a sense of these things, but I feel like everyone knows the UFC is corrupt.
Oh, the world knows, man.
And I feel like the UFC would be, yeah, exactly. Which also tells you it's a matter of time.
Yeah.
But I feel like the UFC would be putting those type of contractual obligations on fighters to try to calm that sense and be like, no, everything's peachy keen. These guys are getting paid, or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not
I feel like they would be
how
trying
much you're getting paid. And
exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So that's interesting to me. You know,
they don't care, man.
That's crazy.
They're like drunk on power, in my opinion.
Dana,
the guys that are running it are drunk on power, man. Yeah. They think that they can just do whatever the fuck they want, and they'll never have a consequence, or at least that consequence is so far in the future that they don't give a fuck about that. They're just gonna make all the fucking money they can, and when it happens, they'll be like, "Fuck, fine."
It's like politics, man. It's like politics, where it's like, because right now the UFC is secured through 2023. I want to say that's when the deal's good too. Maybe I'm making that number up.
The UFC
with the TV deal.
Oh yeah. I think it's 2023.
I might be getting that wrong, Jamie. But I feel like it's politics where it's just like, oh no, we'll secure it through here and then we're gonna sell it or whatever it is, right? Like
exactly.
From a business standpoint, you kind of see a lot of things that make short-term sense and don't necessarily make long-term sense, right? Like you want. I love putting you in these positions where you're just like, something's happening. Yeah, no, Reebok is happening, motherfucker. Like, there's a fucking reason. There's a reason why you get paid in Bellator, okay? I feel you for sure. I mean, you said you referenced earlier about the structure of the UFC. So when you say the structure, you mean, again, journalists controlling the rankings.
Yes.
Again, just the monopoly.
Yeah, the monopoly that the UFC has over the game, and the inability for the fighter to move back and forth in between different organizations, fight for titles, and then hold those titles, have a ranking, and then keep that ranking. Like Rory McDonald, for instance, was ranked number 3, I think, when he left the UFC. Now was he ranked?
I have no idea.
He's not. He's not.
I haven't seen his name in a long time.
He's ranked number 1 in Bellator. Nobody cares about the Bellator rankings. It's not even a thing. Fight Matrix, actually, there's a site where all of the fighters are ranked. Right? It's actually like a mathematical equation, which is very cool. But it's not all done by math. They will always put whoever is the current UFC champion at the top spot.
Makes sense.
Right? So this is another problem with the game is all us fighters, in the majority of us anyway, there's some people that actually do strictly fight for money and don't give a fuck. But the majority of us want to be the best in the world.
Well, that's
right.
That's why you're a fighter.
Why the fuck would we do it other than to be like, okay, I'm the fucking best.
It's obsessive.
I did it. I did it.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, you got to fight for the UFC. But if you're fighting for the UFC, now you're not able to.
That's fucked up.
Well, you can get paid high levels in the UFC. You can make more money in the UFC than you can anywhere else.
Okay, as a megastar, at the top, yeah.
Right? But other than that, it's difficult.
Yeah.
But Bellator, you're not making a crazy amount of money either. Like I believe that I will make more in Bellator than I did in the UFC, just because I'm pretty decent at hustling sponsors and networking with people and doing what I need to make money.
Yeah.
Right? But there's a lot of fighters there's a lot of fighters that aren't good at that. Right? And Bellator pays decent, but they're not going to pay, like, your wage isn't, like, my wage is probably going to be pretty comparable to what I left in the UFC.
Right.
I'm hoping a little higher, but fuck knows.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not like everybody that signs with Bellator is making $400,000.
Yeah.
Right? That's like those are the select few that they put all their money into. And like I know a guy that signed his first Bellator fight, and it was like 10-10, increasing by 2 on both sides. So 10-10, 12-12.
Yeah. No, I get it for sure. To me, it seems so hard to navigate truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, from the outside looking in.
Crazy, man.
I'm sure even just being in it, you know, like, it just seems like, I don't know, it seems like 48 Laws of Power, man. It just seems like fucking just maniacal shit.
It is, dude.
And it just seems like savagery. And in business, and especially white collar crooks are a real thing. And they are very, very real.
Fuck yes.
And I feel less hurt by that, because it's like, okay, so this person's now going to make $300,000 versus $100,000. That's one thing. The second thing is he's also not putting his fucking body on the line. Yeah. Like, athletes understand. Like, it is fucking hard. Go do a week worth of workouts with Ibi Ali. Go do it.
Yeah. Just 3
and then
in
tell
a
him,
week.
and then
just 3 in 1 week. That's it.
And then go tell him you're gonna get paid $16,000.
Yeah.
Bitch, I will pay you $16,000 not to do it.
Totally.
Right? Like, it's like it just fucking bugs me. It irks me inside, right?
Yeah, it's fucking annoying. And there's times where, like, it actually has driven me to the point of fucking madness. Yeah. Like, makes me so upset, and I just get so fucking angry and frustrated with everybody in the game. Like, why the fuck don't all you fighters fucking wake up? You're the toughest people on the fucking planet, but you're scared of this bald motherfucker. You know, you're scared because, you're going to lose your job. There's other fucking jobs out there. They're not as good, but still, it's your, like, you got to fight for the future. They're like, at some stage, it's like, okay, what's it going to take? Like, they do this, then they do this, then they do this. It's like, what the fuck is it going to take for you to stand up for yourself? Mm-hmm. Like, isn't that the whole purpose of being a martial artist? Most people get in to learn how to stand up for themselves. And then they get to be the best fucking fighters on the planet, and they're cowering to some little pipsqueak with a fucking pencil. I don't get it, man.
It's real
I
life.
don't understand it.
It's real life. Yeah.
And it hurts me. And part of me is like happy that I'm fucking gone from the UFC, just because I don't have that constant source of frustration that I'm directly connected to. It still frustrates me, but I'm not as connected to it. I'm not as affected by it, which is a fucking blessing. Even the Project Spearhead thing. I'm not in the UFC, so how can I be in a union of UFC fighters? I can't be the vice president of UFC fighters if
you're not in the UFC.
If I'm not in the UFC.
But let me look at Leslie.
Leslie is still trying to be in the UFC, though.
Is she?
Yeah, she's with her whole court case and everything.
Yeah.
That's what she's trying to do. She's trying to get that last fight on her contract.
Yeah, as a legal action.
Owe her,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Which will then mean she's still a UFC fighter, so she can still continue on.
Sure.
Now, I do have some thoughts of maybe trying to unionize Bellator if that's where I end up.
Oh my gosh.
I was planning on unionizing Bellator from the get-go with Project Spearhead, right? Like I want everybody to be in these union. All the top, in order for this to work, in my opinion, we need three things. Okay, we need antitrust lawsuits. There's one happening right now with the UFC. We need the Ali Act to pass. And we need some sort of union/association that in all of the top organizations, right? So that way, people can move back and forth in between these organizations and still have that protection of that collective body, right? So there will be a union of Bellator fighters, a union of ONE FC fighters, a union of UFC fighters. All of the top people. It's kind of like the actor union, right?
Yeah.
Like not all the productions are unionized. Right,
Yeah,
the lower level the productions aren't unionized. The union performers will not work in those shows, right? And they need a certain amount of credits or whatever in order to become unionized. To get to a certain level to be unionized. Same thing with promotions. They would have to reach a certain level in order for them to have access to the unionized fighters, right? And then once you're in the union, once you get enough credits or enough fights in good organizations, you become a union fighter, and now you can work back and forth in between all of these different major organizations because we have the Ali Act, right? The Ali Act is going to limit the duration of your contracts with every promoter, right? And the title is going to be able to be passed back and forth. The athletes are going to be able to work back and forth.
As a fan, that's very cool.
Right?
Yeah.
So the fights that you want to see, some fights that we want to see, we don't get to see because this guy's here and this guy's here.
Yeah.
Which is fucking annoying.
Yeah, no,
right?
for
so
sure.
So with those three things, the game is completely fucking changed. And the power is now in the fighter's hands.
So what's it going to take? How bad does it have to get?
I don't know if the union thing will ever work, to tell you the truth. Yeah. Just on my last while of trying to organize fighters and talking to people, there's so much fear. There's so much fucking fear that I don't know if it'll ever happen. And also we're also fighting against this massive fluidity in the roster, right? It's not like these guys are sticking around.
Three fights,
right? A lot of the guys that we did sign for Project Spearhead are gone now.
Yeah, no, totally. I totally get it, man. It's crazy to just think about that. I mean, it's crazy to me that Conor and Floyd happened. And
right.
I get it nuts. From a business.
The Ali Act is what made that happen. Because as soon as he got his boxer's license, he was now covered by the Ali Act, so the UFC cannot restrict his movement. Otherwise, they would have restricted his movement, and he would have never happened unless they fucking made all the money and just gave him what they wanted.
Yeah, true. But I mean, still, I would love. There's so many fights that you would love to see, and also the other thing too is I want to see a champion that is a champion's champion. I don't know if that makes sense. I want to see someone like have his belt. Defend his belt I feel like we're just in a fucking era of fluidity and flux, constant. Our attention is like this.
Yeah, totally.
Right? Especially in the NBA, I'm always going to reference basketball. In the NBA, it's fucking Golden State, boom. All of a sudden, Cleveland, boom. Right? Boston, boom.
Okay.
LA, boom. You know what I mean? It's just there's no dynasties anymore.
I see.
You know what I'm saying?
Nobody gets it and holds it.
Exactly. I want to see
Johnson
that.
did, though.
Yeah, there you go. And then they also just throw wild people in there for the title,
doesn't make any fucking sense.
Derek Lewis.
Yeah.
Shout out to Derek. I love that. That was fuck.
balls was hot.
Jesus Christ.
So good.
The best marketing thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
For sure.
I wonder if he had hit Joe being like, hey Joe, I'm gonna take my pants off after I fuck this guy up.
Yeah.
And Joe was probably like, all right man, just go ahead and win and do whatever the fuck you want. You know what I mean? But he's a beast, but he's getting a shot now.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if he even wants it.
Yeah, right? Like, fuck, man. You're just going to get mauled by that black bear, dude.
Oh,
like,
fuck.
Fuck. DC is a beast.
But only takes one hit.
Yeah, it does. It does, but I don't know. He's pretty smart, man. DC's pretty smart. Yeah. He's such a good competitor. I'd be highly surprised if Derek won, but it's fucking MMA, so anything can happen. Probably a good bet.
That's why it's a fucking great sport.
Bet on Derek Lewis.
Yeah.
Fucking minus five, plus 500 underdog for sure.
For sure.
For sure.
All day.
Yeah,
man. I'm fucking actually looking forward to that. I was so hyped when he knocked his ass out.
Oh my god!
Like,
everybody's gonna get hyped for that just because he's getting shit kicked for so long and then such a drastic turnaround.
Oh my god!
Fuck!
It was brutal,
dude.
He was just
yeah.
Can't do it. Can't do it.
Fucking smash.
Hey man, I'm not all that technical and all that, but I'm gonna just fucking punch her ass out, and that's gonna be it. One punch is all it takes, baby. That's it. He's funny as hell, man.
He's so funny, man. His Instagram is a whole other level.
It's a whole other thing, man.
There's not one picture of him on his Instagram.
Yeah, it's all like
it's just all fucking videos that have been getting real fucked up lately. Apparently, I don't even follow him, but a couple of my students follow him. They're like, "Yo, you see what Derek just posted? Like people getting their fucking heads run over by buses and shit." Like,
I don't know.
What the
I don't know about that shit.
Is going on in your brain?
I don't know about
bro?
that shit. It's like the thing we were talking about. We were talking about McGregor. We were talking about earlier. We were talking about mumble rappers.
Yeah,
it's about courting attention.
Yeah,
it's just it's just about courting attention. Yeah. We had a conversation. The guys on me a self-hire was like, hey, listen, are we just, Josh, you're just gonna get out there and like, do we want you to talk pop, or what do we want, like what do we want this to be? And we came to a conclusion where it was like, no, listen, even if it loses in the short term, if it loses in the short term, and say this fails, say you're our last guest, which you won't be,
totally.
But we can still look back on it and be like, no, this was truth, and truth always wins.
Always wins.
It will always win.
Always
win. Guys that are courting attention in the short term, it won't work, and that's
not gonna
why.
Last, man. There's no staying power.
Exactly, and think about this, man. This is what boggles my mind. I'll bring this up with you because we think similar, man. Like everyone's like, hey, what motivates you? Money. Okay, cool. What else motivates you? Happiness. Okay, cool. Both short-term things. How long do you live? Right? 60 years, 80 years, 100 years max. Right? Now, what else motivates you? Now that we bring that to light, legacy. Okay, legacy. Right? No. I get that.
Yeah.
Who's got the greatest legacy of all time, in your opinion, ever? Anything humans?
Fuck. That's Michael Jordan.
I'm gonna disagree.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Jesus.
Yes, you win for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? I kind of threw you under the bus there. My bad.
Oh, it was good. That was good. Definitely.
Right? So
Jesus wins.
Jesus wins. So if I'm not religious, but let's say I am, and say I believe that at 0 AD Jesus died or was born or whatever it was, that legacy has spanned 2,000 years.
Yeah.
Fair to say, right? Mm-hmm. Let's look at the history of humans. We can say we've been cognitive humans for 1 million years, right? Like actual thinking humans.
Yeah.
How quick is that?
Yeah. Nothing, man.
That's nothing.
Yeah.
Right? So when I start to put things in perspective, and it just even in my head, like I'm talking here like I got shit figured out. I have no fucking clue at all.
Yeah.
The more you dive into stuff, you're just like, oh,
I don't know shit.
God, shit. Like it's funny, you just said with the union, right? You're like, really passionate about this, and then you start looking at all the intricacies, and you're like,
right? Yeah.
Yeah. But even though you have that thought process, there's that thing inside you that's like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
like
totally.
Truth is gonna win.
Exactly.
I don't care if it's in 100 years. Truth will
whatever
win.
way it will. Yeah.
Like God forbid, but say you go out on your next fight and have a fatal accident.
Yeah.
Somewhere down the line, you'll be, oh yeah, Kajan Johnson was right.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
There was truth there.
Yeah. For sure.
Maybe it's 40 years post-mortem.
Yeah. For sure, man.
And I don't know, but I don't think you would regret that.
No, not at all. I'll never regret anything I did.
Exactly.
Yeah, I stand by the way that I played the game, and I know that I didn't play it in the way that was the most beneficial for myself personally. But that's not what I was trying to do. I wasn't just trying to benefit myself. It was my dream to do that. I've been dreaming about trying to create some sort of a union in the UFC and affect change in some way. I've been dreaming that since I can remember, since they did the first Ultimate Fighter.
Right? Oh my God, really?
2005, yeah.
Wow. Are you this, excuse my ignorance, but are you this social justice, I want to say social justice warrior, even though that has a negative connotation. I don't mean it in that connotation. You know, like someone who's fighting for good. I see it in your MMA, and I see it in your fucking energy. What else are you passionate about outside of MMA? You know, what gets you going in terms of affecting change?
It's human rights. Human rights, specifically human rights in regards to Canada's relations with First Nations people. Right? Because I think that that's something that a lot of settler Canadians, European-based, Canadians that have a European lineage, a European ancestry.
Me, bro. Yeah, right? My people. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
like,
sure.
A lot of people just don't even see the massive divide that there is, and the way that First Nations people in this country are being treated by the government and have been treated by the government for fucking hundreds of years, right? So I've been vocal in on a couple different fronts, but I don't have a lot of fucking time anymore. I've been doing what I can, but it's a difficult fucking battle, man. It's a difficult battle.
I get it, and
it always changes, right? But there's a lot of organization around fighting the Kinder Morgan pipeline, around fighting against the mines that are up north. There's a lot of things happening.
Just human rights, man. Equal pay. There's a ton of things. Equal opportunity.
So much shit. There's so much shit.
It's one of those things that I have had no, there's no causation.
Yeah.
There's I haven't done anything, I'm not part of the problem.
Yeah.
But I still feel tremendous responsibility.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You saw my reaction as soon as you said that, man. It's just like this fucking weight. It's just like, man.
Yeah, dude.
There's so much wrong. I'm
so much, dude.
I mean, the first thing.
The more you delve in the problem,
the worse it gets.
Right.
And and the thing is, it's ugly.
It's really ugly. Ugly, and it's systemic, right? It's by design. It was designed to be this way by the government in order to continue the path of colonization that their ancestors set out, right? If they do what they should do, right? If they right the wrongs and do what they need to really make this a better relationship, the relationship that First Nations people were thought they were getting into when they signed these treaties. Then they'll lose the Canada that they want, that they desperately need, and that they have right now, right? Like, when I say treaties, but we're not sitting on treaty land. All of BC, a lot of people don't know this, right? Like, there's 200 tribes here, right? More tribes in BC than anywhere else in the country.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's from all the whole plains, there's 4 tribes.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
BC, there's 200.
Well,
bro.
it's prosperous.
Yeah. And it's just there's a lot of separation from mountain ranges and stuff, so there wasn't as much travel and stuff. There's a lot of reasons. But fuck, what was I talking about?
No, you pulling a Joe Budden right here.
Yeah, this happens to be.
You said people don't know that there's literally 200 tribes on this. And
it was the treaties.
Yeah, treaties. Yeah.
So I was talking about the treaties. So there's all these treaties that have been signed for numerous reasons across the country. I forget how many treaties, maybe 10 treaties.
Sure.
BC has no treaties. Oh. The land in BC, by law, is all Aboriginal title. Let that shit sink in. Downtown Vancouver was never lost in a war. It was never signed over. It was never surrendered.
Purely stolen.
Just not even really stolen. Just taken. Right? Just I'm just going to be here now.
Yeah.
There's no legal documents that say that that our Canadian government has
ownership
of this land, right?
No,
which is fucking crazy, man. It's fucking crazy, because when all of these massive resource extraction projects are happening, right?
The First Nations people,
the grassroots First Nations people who are the actual holders of the Aboriginal title, the band, the Indian band, the chief and council, they don't hold the Aboriginal title. They're just another person. It's held by every single person that's using that territory.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
These are the people that have the rights to that land. And when there is a mine that's going to go in, or there's a pipeline that's going to go through this land, then those people stand up and they're like, no, fuck that. We don't give you consent.
In my mind, one of two things should happen. Either if you don't give consent, it doesn't go through.
Yeah, exactly.
Or if you do, let's cut it up. Like, what's the profit? Like, this is going here, that's going here, right? Like, there needs to be negotiation happening, right?
And there are, but there are negotiations with chiefs that have been bought off by the industries. So those chiefs do no longer really represent their people that they're governing. They are only representing their own self-interest, right? So their pockets are being lined, so they'll sign whatever the fuck.
Man.
They're down for whatever split, because they're getting given fucking $100,000 a month.
Man, this is gonna sound crazy, but it reminds me of Haiti. Haiti is a democracy. It's voted in, but what happens is essentially whoever gets voted in either gets death threats or bought out. So it's just like, hey, listen, publicly, you're going to have a terminal illness and you're going to need to be shipped to Italy or to America, and you're going to disappear, and we'll pay you and you'll have a great life.
Yeah.
But and then the vice president, we're going to put in power, and whatever the vice president, says goes, and they're under control. So it's kind of like a similar thing in terms of like, it's not representing the people at all.
Exactly.
And us white people are so ignorant. We're like, oh, it's the fucking chief. The chief said that. The chief signed it. What are you talking about? You didn't get no say. Chief signed it. The chief right here. He's got the head thing on. He looks like the chief to me. That's the chief.
Yeah, right.
That's not the case.
No,
it's not the case at all.
It's not the case, man.
So it fucking hurt. And from a business perspective.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
It hurts
even
me,
just
man.
that form of government, like, it's a very imposed governmental system. The whole band system. It's like a reserve system, right? The chiefs were hereditary, man.
Mm-hmm.
The chiefs were taught to be chiefs from the time they were fucking small, right? So, but now that's not the case. Now it's all elected,
man.
Right? So now people you buy the votes. You elect me. Okay, I'll make sure that I get your family a job in this position, and I'll buy you a snowmobile, and you'll get a truck, and whatever. And now I'm the chief, and now I'm just gonna siphon off as much fucking cash as I can.
It's fucked up.
It's fucking crazy, bro.
It's sick, man.
It's fucking crazy. It's insane.
And I'm no person to be speaking on this, but you know what, man? It's like, it's just one of those things that, again, hurts me, because it's just like you're sitting on the fucking sidelines. Yeah. So like, I told you I work in an investment firm. I actually there's a sub-brand of that investment firm called Ethic Invest. So it's all like socially responsible investments,
okay.
SRI,
That's cool.
ethical social governance, ESG. So just like, equal rights, equal opportunity, no guns, no drugs, and no tobacco, stuff like that, right? So it's just like, there's a reason why I got behind that. And the reason is when I was a kid, I used to be like, oh man, someone, I don't know who said it, but someone's like, oh, I hate reading the newspaper. And then the other person was like, oh no, I love reading the newspaper because that's my to-do list. And I was like, oh wow, because it's all negative shit, right? So it's like,
totally.
these are all the things I got to change. And I was like, cool.
Yeah.
And then, and so I was like, okay, I want to get into politics. So when I was like a really young kid, and I was like a hippie little kid, like, what the fuck are you talking about? and I was like, I keep it. I'll be like, oh man, like I don't want to tell anybody. And then I was like, oh no, wait, I don't want to go into politics. I want to go into business, because politics is business. Business controls politics.
Yeah,
so,
totally. Let's go to the source.
Yeah, I mean, like, why, like. I am a proponent for voting, but in my mind, in my young mind, I was like, why the fuck are we voting? Like, we'll just go buy the businesses, then we can make the decisions.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it just like, and again, like, people die for the right to vote. So I'm not saying
sure.
don't
I understand
vote.
I understand it. But does it really, are you going to change the fucking world with your one vote?
Exactly.
Probably fucking not, because you only have two choices and they're both fucking dickheads.
Because it's ideological warfare, you know.
Yeah.
Ideological.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's fucked
the whole
up.
system's fucked.
It's like man, we're hippies right now. I love doing hippie talk. It's dope, especially with someone respected like yourself. It's awesome. Fucking, it's great. I love when you meet high level people that are grounded.
Yeah, totally. I hear you.
Like I remember, literally. So it's just this podcast maybe come out in a couple of weeks. It was just Thanksgiving. Yeah, I'm from the island originally, so I took the ferries back. Missed 2 ferries on the way over there. Didn't have a reservation. Okay, whatever. Paid the price. On the way back, I was a walk on. So I was like, okay, I need to get to work. You know, whatever when markets open. So I need to get this like 4 o'clock. Showed up 3 o'clock and didn't go on the boat till 8. And I was a walk on. So they're like having people like walk out, like line up outside. So the waiting at BC. You've been on the island before?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course. The waiting at Departure Bay, waiting thing was full. Waiting room was full. They weren't selling any more tickets for that thing.
Wow.
Now I went out and then up into like the long-term parking. So like, I don't know, like 500-meter line. Fuck. And I'm like sitting there. And I'm with my girlfriend Tracy. She's just pissed. She's like, "Oh my fucking god!" She just can't handle it. These fucking people are so irresponsible. They can make more money. They can make more money. Just have more runs. Just have more ferries. Just get it going hourly. What the fuck? Yeah. And she's just going off. And then there's like the people behind me, like, "Man, we got to protest. We got to do something about this." And I'm like, "You're right, and you're right." But I'm like, I'm not gonna be the guy that's like, "Oh, you know, fuck this. This is wrong. We should protest." I'm like, okay, how much money is it gonna take for us to build a competitor? And then get another ferry going and then double the runs. What's that going to take? How do we do that? You know what I mean? Like take the Elon Musk approach, you know, like
100%.
There's shit we can do. And the same thing you're just doing with Project Spearhead. It's like, okay, yeah, this is a problem.
Yeah.
Like let's materialize something to do something about it.
Exactly. Instead of just fucking complaining about shit.
Exactly.
Right? Because I'll be in like workout rooms with UFC fighters, because when you go to UFC fight, like fight week or whatever, you're in the hotel, they put a couple workout rooms in there. Yeah. One A corner, one B corner or whatever. And I'll be in there, and this always comes up with fighters, right? And talk ends up where, okay, we're talking about all the shit we hate about UFC and how we're not getting paid, right? And then I kill the conversation by like, well, so have you signed your Project Spearhead card yet? And everybody just shuts the fuck right up and says nothing. I'm like, well, if you want to fucking talk, like, let's fucking do something, you know? Yeah. And people just get so scared. Like, I've got fighters that won't come on my podcast.
No way.
And, like, we're friends. But they're scared. They're like, yeah, you talk about Project Spearhead too much. And, like, I saw what happened to Leslie, and now you got cut, and like I'm just not trying to make any waves. I'm not in that type of position. Like I wasn't in that position either. Fucking pussy. Come on, man. The fuck? I'm not making you sign a card. I'm not gonna call you out on your podcast.
Yeah. But I'm not even trying to put you in that position.
Exactly.
But just speak up.
Exactly.
Just speak up.
Yeah, on your own terms, in your own way.
You can be political about it too. That's the thing too. Like for me, non-action is the worst action.
The worst, man.
So non-action is the worst action. So you talk about anything ethical. It's like, hey, either you're part of the solution, you're part of the problem. I'm sorry for saying that, but I fucking truly believe it. It's like you're either standing on the sideline watching it happen, or you're part of the machine and you're making it happen. Yeah. Even if you don't realize it.
Exactly.
So it's like, listen, just sign your card. Just sign your card. Okay, just sign your card. So now you can be as political as you want, but you are putting some energy, some action, and some force behind something that is good. You are not just being part of the issue, right? Exactly. But that takes something in here, right? Mm-hmm. That takes self-confidence, self-belief.
It's something you would think a fighter would have.
A fucking MMA fighter. I'm sorry, yeah.
Come on, man.
I'm so, yeah.
What's wrong with you people?
I'm so wrong to be getting passionate about this. It's so not my thing, but conceptually.
It's crazy. Conceptually. It hurt my brain for a long time. And now I'm in Bellator, so I'm like, yeah, whatever, fuck UFC. Ooh. But if they call me and they pay me, I'm down. I'll still scrap. I'll come back.
Dana, you know,
for the right price. For the right price.
No, man, I get you for sure. So what do you think? So Bellator, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. How long is it going to take? I'm a business guy, so I'm going to go back to the business. How long do you think it's going to take until Bellator gets more than the 6% share or the 3% share they have right now in the market? Like, is it going to, is this thing growing, or is it just going to be stomped on and stomped on and stomped on and stomped on?
I'm pretty sure they're okay being the number 2. I wouldn't be surprised if there were actually conversations in the background between the UFC and the Bellator. Like, okay, we're number 1, you're number 2. You guys be the best number 2. We'll be the best number 1. We won't fuck with you. You know, the UFC acquires all competitors that that they're worried about. You know, they've done it time and time and time again to create this monopoly that they enjoy. So I don't think that Bellator is ever going to usurp the UFC's place. The only way that could possibly happen is for the Ali Act to go through.
Right.
And now there's liquidity, there's movement that's able to happen. And now because the UFC has access to all the best fighters. So whoever has the best fighters, that's the best organization.
Sure.
Right? So unless they can get access to those fighters or like get them to come over to Bellator and leave the UFC, which is very difficult because in order to be the best, everybody already knows you got to fight in the UFC.
Yeah.
That has to change, which how the fuck is that going to change with all the best fighters are over here? You know, so it's a very difficult task, and the only way that I see that happening is for the Ali Act to go through, because now there's independent titles that we can fight for. There's independent ranking system, so the best in the world doesn't have to be only in the UFC. You know.
So where is that at? Where is the Ali Act at?
Last I heard, we were about to. I think they're going to the floor.
Okay.
In early next year, they're going to the floor.
Mm-hmm.
They just got out of committee. They're going to the floor.
So once they're at the floor, what's next? What's the process from here? Like,
I fucking suck in American politics.
No,
but
that's okay.
After the floor, as long as they get a unanimous vote or a majority vote, then I think it goes to the Senate. It's the Senate in the States, right? Yeah, okay. So I get confused with
No, Canada. It's all good, dude. Right? It's a podcast, bro. You're not supposed to have your facts straight. Right. You're not supposed to be prepared.
Okay, yes. So, they go to the Senate next, and then say everything goes good in the Senate. Now it's just Mr. Trump's signature, which is a fucking problem because he's fucking best friends with Dana White.
Yep.
So that's a fucking problem. Dana White already went to him with the whole Leslie Smith case.
No way.
Right? Like the NLRB in Pittsburgh is the one that was trying Leslie Smith's case at first. They were assessing the case to see if it had merit. They're like, okay, this is a fucking no-brainer. It has merit for sure.
Yeah.
And then the UFC, then Dana goes to Washington, D.C.
Is this documented?
Well, this all happened very, very, very close proximity. So it's very difficult to... There's no documentation.
Sure, bro. It's a podcast. Relax.
Exactly. But it'd be a fucking hell of a coincidence if it was wrong. Okay, so Dana White goes and takes some pictures with Donald Trump, goes to D.C. for some undisclosed reason. Nobody knows why he's there. Right. He just goes to take some fucking pictures. Hotel and right, exactly. Yeah. Take some pictures in the White House. The following week, Leslie's case with the NLRB in Pittsburgh, the DC office is like, yo, what's going on here? Okay, you think it has merit? We'll check it out. We'll take it from here. You guys, we don't really trust you. We're going to take it over. And this doesn't fucking happen from what our lawyer's saying. This doesn't happen. Okay, so they take it and they're like, they try it. They look at it. They take their fucking sweet ass time. And they're like, oh, yeah, we figure that it doesn't have any merit. So now there's appeals going on and shit. But this is what they do, right? They have huge political connections, and they will use those connections.
And they'll draw it out.
Yeah, and they'll draw it out, and they'll do whatever the fuck it takes in order to cement their monopoly. Yeah. Because their business model does not work without that monopoly. And all of these actions that are happening right now, the Ali Act is a huge threat to them. Probably the biggest threat to that monopoly.
Right.
Between that and the antitrust lawsuit. Because this lawsuit is serious, too. It's going to be like, the settlement would be around $300 million. Yeah.
Excuse me?
It's fucking serious. It's something that's going to like hurt the UFC.
Damn.
It's going to hurt them, and they're not going to want it to happen again. Now, that case is only from 2010 to 2014. Okay, so all the plaintiffs are, the plaintiffs are everybody that is in the UFC between that time. So I'm one of those people. The people that are actually the face of this, there's like 6 guys that are the face of this.
Okay.
Yeah. But they represent the class of all UFC fighters between 2010 and 2014.
Sure.
Now, let's say that this goes through, and we fucking win, and those motherfuckers have to pay
300 mil.
300 mil, which the lawyers will take 30% or whatever of.
Sure, but
I don't give a fuck because we wouldn't get shit if it wasn't for them, right? And they've been working for free for a long time. There's like a team of like 50 fucking lawyers on this thing.
Working for free.
Working for free because they know if this goes through, there's a fucking massive payday.
Fair,
right? So
and they see it. They see it's winnable. So
it's very winnable. Right? Massive firms are on this. So say we win this 300 million. They fucking pay us this 300 million. Now, if they don't change all of the practices that led to us winning that lawsuit right then and there, then we fucking sue again immediately. Another suit. And now this one is from 2014 to 2018. And we win that one, and we win another one, and we win another. And eventually, they're going to have to change.
They have to change it.
They have to change they can no longer have a monopoly on the game.
So when it comes to legal leverage, because of this case, you hold the legal leverage once this goes through. And again, looks very winnable. So and I'm fucking glad those firms are behind you, man.
Yeah, me too, man.
That's amazing, me right? Too. There are good people out here.
Totally.
There
are.
We get so caught up in the negative bullshit that that there's a lot of fucking great people out there too. Yeah, man.
There's a lot of good people that are willing to fight for what's right, which is fucking incredible.
Which is amazing, right? And we got to hold these people up. And just to go quickly back, like we spoke about the Aboriginal thing. That's another thing too. Like let's I don't want to say hold on a pedestal, but kind of hold on a pedestal. Like let's uplift these Native American
these people that are fighting,
that are fucking
on the front lines, man,
constantly.
Fuck, man, there's so many of them. Nobody even knows who these people are.
Or even just role models.
Yeah,
even just role models. Like you don't even have to be an activist. Just people that are going and like living their lives in great, amazing ways, right? That show other people on reserves that this shit is possible.
It's possible, exactly.
I mean,
lack of role models over there, man. Huge lack of role models.
Yes.
Fucking sad.
Yes. Man. And that's again hits you in the heartstrings because it's like that's kids.
Yeah, man.
That's kids. So
kids, man, they're fucking dying. Like this community that I've been going to for a bit, Fort Chip, it's up north.
Okay.
Yeah, Fort Chippewa, it's like northern Alberta. Yeah, man, I go there and like I went there a couple months later. One of the kids that I really connected with tried to kill himself.
Fuck.
Right? Like I went to this other. I went to Masquatchie's right before my fight in Edmonton in beginning of 2017. I go there and it was like the week before. A grade 9 kid had retaliated because one of his friends got killed. Okay, retaliated and stabbed another grade 9 kid in the fucking neck and fucking killed him. Right? They're fucking 14 years old, man.
Fucking savages.
It's fucking crazy, bro.
The thing is, like, that's people.
It's so crazy.
People don't grow like that. Like that, something happens to them.
We're not the intergenerational cycle of abuse is just so heavy, and everybody is so affected by it. It's like everybody is so affected by it that it's so difficult to get out of it. So difficult to pull yourself up because everything around you is fucking shit and toxic. Like there's so little light to be seen. You're just in a fucking cave of darkness. It's hard to even believe that light exists.
Yeah.
Right? So then you're just like, fuck it, whatever. I'm just going to do what everybody else is doing. Let's go fucking drink. Let's go fucking get high. Let's go fuck people up.
Make life a little bit better for a short period of time.
Very short period of time. Right? And end up in jail, end up strung out, end up wherever.
What happens to you in those situations, right? Man. And I'm a big proponent of responsibility, but man, at that point, it's honestly not on you. It's like it's
always on you.
Well, no, when you're 12.
Yeah, but not when you're 12, but it will be.
Oh,
it will become 16.
Yes, Yes,
like you're whatever happened to you, that's not your fault. But like healing is always your responsibility.
I completely agree.
Fucking difficult because some people are given such shit circumstances to grow up in. It's just like shit ain't fair, man. Like the game's rigged.
I'm totally not a proponent of equal outcome, but I'm a proponent of equal opportunity.
Yeah, totally.
If we could just get, for me, my vision of the world is a place where we could just all have a shot.
Yeah,
just a shot,
right?
Like I do some work in Haiti, and that is just unbelievable. In that
I can't even imagine it. Like.
like moms feeding their infants like mud pies to fill their stomach because they won't stop crying, you know, like little just mixing dirty water with dirt, and you know, it's like it's next level, and it's another thing, man, where it's like
that's a real thing.
It's a real,
that hurt me a lot right there.
There's you know 7 million people on that little half of island, you know, and it's like it's another thing because I feel bad because, you know, you go down there. I'm due for another trip. It's been like a year. I need to go down there again, but you go down there, and anybody listening to this podcast, like, please reach out to Kajan and reach out to me. Like, there's things we can do. There's things we can do, right?
Totally.
But I mean, you go down there, like, again, I'm a fucking super white guy. Like, my complexion is white.
Yeah.
Right. Then, you know, and I had a shitty upbringing, but I live in fucking Canada. So get out of here. Like, you saying you have a shitty upbringing in Canada is just get out of here.
Yeah, totally. So
it's like you go there and people hate you because you're white. Yeah. Hate you because you're white, because you're either again, I'm not religious, but they're either missionaries that have come down and tried to convert you, or again, slavery is not that old.
It's so young.
It's not that old.
It's really not.
Right? So it's just like that was 2 generations ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's in their mind, I'm either a slave owner or someone that's trying to come down and convert them. So voodoo is a big thing down there.
Yeah, man.
And so like, again, you want to talk about being political? I'm not going to be political in this sense. There's fucking orphanages that are ran by churches that won't accept kids because they won't convert to Christianity. So it's like, you want water? You want water? You want filtration systems? You want food? Come pray. Let me bless you in.
Fuck.
You're not going to do that? You don't get it.
That's some fucking bullshit. That's exactly the problem with fucking Christianity as a whole for generations since its existence.
Since its inception.
It's fucking crazy, man.
And Kajan, it goes further than that. It's like, if you are I'm making these names up. If you're a Smith Street Baptist Church versus a Central Avenue church, if you go to the Baptist or just to the Smith Street and get extra supplies you need for your car, you are banished. You're gone. You're gone. You're not on this team, because now, as an organization, as a church, we're not funding you anymore. And we need to be funding you. You understand what I'm saying?
Wow.
So now if you're getting funding from another place, go be with them.
Fucking crazy.
So there's
it's
a
like
big
Bloods and Crips, man. Like, what the fuck is it?
No, 100%.
You're trying to
100%.
save people.
No, 100%.
You're trying to make money, man. Fuck out of here.
Or PR.
Yeah,
or PR. And it's the same,
whatever.
It's the same,
which is gonna make you money.
It's gonna make you money in the end. It's the same thing that's happening again. Like, you're represented by these chiefs that don't actually represent the people.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, they're doing it as a PR stunt. So it's totally. The average uneducated white male can look at that and go, yeah, we're talking to the Native Americans.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here. Right. Shit. And it's like, and people also don't like put it in perspective. Put it in perspective. Like, please, like, so we look at Nazi Germany, right?
Yeah.
Don't tell me that's not the same thing. Don't tell me it's it's worse.
Yeah.
It's worse.
1,000,000%.
Jews have a culture now.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to justify that,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, let's look at it for what it is.
Exactly.
Where is your culture?
Yeah.
So you're in tune.
Yeah.
You're in tune. So many people have just lost that completely.
Completely, dude. And it was by design. Like, it was happened by design. They did it for a purpose, right? The North America experienced the Americas experienced the largest genocide in human history. Right? Yeah. But it's the one, nobody makes movies about that shit.
Not yet.
not the right ones anyway.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson made some fucked up movie. That shit was
fucking Columbus
up.
Day and all that fucking shit.
It's crazy, man.
I can't.
And Donald Trump tweeting about how fucking how American Columbus was, and how his he was
catch
so.
That one.
Oh, dude, I saw it on Instagram or some shit talking about how fucking great Columbus was, and
it's wild,
that motherfucker would throw babies against walls and feed them to dogs. And you want to celebrate this, man. Even celebrating a lot of early Canadian politicians.
Yeah.
John A. Macdonald, right? That's fucking Hitler. That's Hitler. We're celebrating Hitler.
You're not wrong.
Right?
A form.
What the fuck?
Like, if you look at the actions.
Yeah,
if you
exactly.
Look at the actions.
You just look what he did. Look what he did.
And you know what?
It's the same shit, man.
let's take it into
the queen.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here.
let's let's take this into perspective too. We look at a person, you know, even like with the Rwanda genocides and stuff, or we look at Germany, and we're on the winning side of history, right?
Yeah.
Now they're on the losing side, right? So that genocide was on the losing side. Our genocide was on the winning side. We won that.
Yeah.
So we're looking at, like, we can't even really look at our history books.
Exactly.
How bad was this shit really?
Yeah. Right.
How bad was it really? You know what I mean?
Totally.
And that's where it just goes back to, like, truth prevails. Truth will prevail in some way. It will.
And it is. You're seeing like a lot more is being taught about residential schooling, and all of the true history of Canada is being brought to light more now in the school systems in Canada, which is amazing, because when I was fucking social studies, they weren't talking about that shit.
Fuck no.
Talking about fucking some queen shit. I don't give a fuck about that.
This Elizabeth bitch. I don't know.
Yeah,
who
right? What is this shit?
Yeah.
That bitch was fucking capturing native babies and fucking bringing them back. Like
Not
in
wrong.
Kamloops.
Not wrong.
Hey, she took like 50 kids from Kamloops, eh?
What?
Yeah,
You're
dude, from the residential school that was in Kamloops. She took
Holy
like
shit.
50 kids. I watched not a documentary, but I watched a little video of a guy that was one of those kids that was supposed to go with him, and he didn't, but all of his friends and everybody got taken.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck.
He's old as fuck now, but
Yeah, of course.
I think he's dead now. It's a bit ago.
Of course. Yeah.
But, like,
Man.
the history of Canada and the States and
It's dark.
it's so
Stark.
dark, dude.
Stark.
So dark.
Stark. I mean, you know, keep smiling, man. I'm not trying to listen. We got pretty depressing pretty quick, but you know, like keep smiling, keep laughing. Like, you know, the world is good. There's lots of good energy. Karma does exist. Love does exist. These
and
things
it prevails,
definitely.
but it takes time.
It will take time. It might not happen in our generation.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
probably not, but it's all good.
But that's okay. You know, it'll happen anyway. So, you know, just to revert back a bit, you know, when we talk about social issues, there are somewhat clear-cut ways, not clear-cut, but there are ways where we can affect change, and you know, again, we can divest,
definitely,
and we can put our energy towards this, so we can support, we can uplift people, you know, and these are things, you know, methods that will continue to be used and should be used when it comes to things like unionization, and when it comes to, because that's very much a fighter orientated thing.
Yeah,
that's not like me as a citizen. I can't be out there and like, let's fucking unionize fighters.
Yeah, right.
It's like,
who
are you?
Why? No.
Have you ever stepped in a ring? Ever? No. Right. So how does the general population get behind this? Is there an answer?
Stop hating on fighters that are trying to do it. No, there's a lot of I got a lot of hate for it, man. I get a lot of love for it, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of people that are like, oh, well, I've worked at my fucking job for 14 years and I never have got a pay raise. Like, you make $16,000 in one night. I make that in a year. Like, well, what the fuck are you doing about it? Why are you hating on me? Because I think I deserve more.
Get your shit together.
Fucking do something about it.
Yeah, quit.
You know? Yeah, exactly, right? So that's really that's the only thing that regular people can do, is to just back the people and support the people that are trying to create some sort of change, and don't hate on them. Yeah. But it's gotta come from within, unfortunately. Unless you're a lawyer, and then jump on.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah,
you're a journalist. Like, write articles, expose the truth as much as possible. Yeah. But yeah, that's really the extent
for
of
sure.
it.
No, man, I think we just gotta lift people up.
Yeah.
And lift the right people up.
Totally.
You know, you can tell when someone's genuine.
Yeah.
Right? And
stop making stupid people famous.
Hashtag.
Yeah, right.
Hashtag stop making stupid people famous, for sure, man. I get it, man. But
my balls was hot.
Yes. Sorry. Yes. That's all I had to say to that. Fucking yes. That's amazing. But I digress, man. I'm just still so interested in you, man, because it's like, I don't see how many fighters are there in the UFC.
About 600-ish,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give or take.
Top of the top, right? Like, there's a lot of fighters in the world. 600.
Yeah.
I mean, we always say about the NBA, man, like 400 jobs is not a lot of jobs. That's fucking tooth and nail, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But there are 600 fighters in the UFC-ish.
Yeah.
So why am I only seeing a handful of gentlemen or ladies like yourself? Why? Like,
Fear,
I know you're gonna say fear, but now, what makes you and Leslie Smith different? How?
I don't know.
How?
I think part for me personally is because is growing up the way I grew up, right? Being on the losing end of the social issues that First Nations people are facing throughout my early childhood, seeing my mother, my stepfather, some of my family standing up to authoritative figures, hearing about things that my father did in the past. My father was one of the bodyguards for like kind of like a very militant offshoot of the Black Panthers. Yeah. Oh, my dad's fuck, dude. I could do a whole podcast on my dad.
Okay. Part two.
Very.
I'll take that note, mental note.
Yeah, right? Okay. He's also one of the first male strippers in all of Canada. Yeah, in Vancouver.
Make your paper, boo boo.
And his name's Granville.
Oh.
Yeah. That's my middle name's Granville.
Oh.
Yeah.
Man City, baby.
Right? Man City kid, for real. But yeah, so growing up like that and seeing this fight and fighting this fight, I've always wanted to create equality and to fight for social justice and to fight for people that weren't willing to fight for themselves. And way long before I got into the UFC, right. I saw that there was a need. And I was hoping that I would be able to be one of those people that would create some change. And when I got there, when I got there, for a while I was just a fucking spy. Yes, sir, Mr. Dana, sir. Like, whatever the fuck, and just scrap and just do what I got to do because I thought I was I'm going to become the champion. Once I become the champion, now I have some staying power. I'm too big to kick me out.
Right.
So now I'll talk. Once I get and then I got injured. I had a surgery in 2015 on my shoulder. And I was like, okay, well, fuck knows if I'm ever going to get this opportunity unless I do it now.
Yeah.
So I started doing it, and it actually was one of the reasons why a lot of people know me now. Like most of the people don't really even know me from my fights. They know me because I stood up at the Reebok thing at athlete retreat, right?
Yo.
Or I didn't shake Dana White's hand or whatever the fuck.
This boy cold. That man is so cold. Oh my god.
But I was also attempting to use it for marketing, right? Because you have to do something to create some sort of buzz.
To sell, yeah.
The only reason people really turn into fights, to get the masses to turn into fights, there has to be conflict, there has to be drama, there has to be a story.
Man, yeah.
Right? So I was trying to be like the Stone Cold Steve Austin, Vince McMahon. Like, let's attack the company. That can be the story, because I don't want to attack the fellow fighter.
Yeah.
Because I have nothing against the fellow fighter.
Yeah.
But I do have a real beef with the organization and how they're running shit. So let's go after them. And then that can be the story. That can be the drama. That can be the conflict. That resonates with me.
That's beautiful.
I thought it was a fucking great idea.
That was good shit.
Everybody else thought I was fucking crazy.
I remember.
Probably right, because I'm no longer there. Whatever.
They're like, he's cut.
Yeah, that's it. That's
sure
it.
enough.
Yeah.
Well, you weren't wrong.
Yeah.
But
right. So I definitely before I started speaking, before I started saying anything, before the athlete retreat, I was getting easy matchups, bro.
Yeah.
Like, my first fight was like not a highly skilled fighter. Like, he was a bomber.
Who's this?
Tai Hyun Bong.
Okay.
Who? Just as an aside, he's now in Korean prison for fight fixing. Yeah, right.
Oh,
he got busted. So he was my first fight. I didn't perform well in the fight. I had the wrong mindset going in.
Okay.
But the next fight was against like the guy who won Tough China, who's Zhang Lipeng. He's tough guy, but he's not a world beater by any means.
Right. Currently in Chinese prison.
A lot of people will. No, he's not in prison. He's probably cut though.
Yeah.
I think they cut him after I beat him, which they do. They cut a lot of people that I beat.
Yeah.
This is weird.
Interesting.
Yeah. They're like,
interesting.
Fuck you didn't beat him. You're fucking gone. Get the fuck out of here.
Yet they don't move you up. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Right.
sorry.
Exactly.
Moving on.
Right. So, and then after him, I fought this guy named Naoyuki Kotani. He's a great fighter, but as for the caliber of UFC and the current state, fucking probably one of the easiest fights in the whole organization as far as the lightweight division is concerned. Okay. Right. Really, for my style, it's very, very easy for me to beat him.
Sure.
And So those were all before I started speaking. After the Naoyuki Kotani fight, I tore my shoulder. And then
Time is now.
Yeah, and then I'm like, fuck this. I started making fucking music videos and like fucking speaking.
It's gangster.
And, like, got up at the athlete retreat, called those motherfuckers out.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, yeah, time for another fight. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's do it. And they give me this Adriano Martins guy. Nobody's really heard of, right?
Okay.
But he's a fucking black belt in jiu-jitsu. Former world champion in jiu-jitsu. He's very, very high-level wrestler. He's fucking enormous. Like, he's enormous. And he's a southpaw, right? And he's a knockout artist. Doesn't really use his jiu-jitsu much. He's a knockout artist. He's a southpaw. And most southpaws are heavy with their left hand, right?
Yeah.
They stand like this, right?
Yeah.
Heavy with left hand. This motherfucker's heavy with the right hook.
Ooh.
So now the whole way that you fight him...
How do you play him?
Very different, right? Which is why that's where my whole running style came from, because I was really trying to play different lines and different angles.
Yeah, create opportunities. Yeah.
Because he's also a fucking counter fighter, right? So he's not even like the knucklehead that just moves forward. Rah, rah, rah. Okay, I can pick him apart.
Yeah.
But he will not really do a whole lot, and then catch you coming in and overextending because you're just finally fed up, and he just.
Bam.
Bang with the right hook. He knocked out Islam Makhachev.
Oh,
who
shit.
Beat me later on.
Oh, damn.
Right? With that right hook.
Yeah.
Fucking snored him. And so they give me this guy.
Yeah.
Nobody knows who he is.
Right.
Super fucking dangerous.
Yeah.
The only people in UFC that beat this guy are me and Cowboy Cerrone.
Okay.
Right? We're the only guys that beat him.
Okay.
And then after that, then they booked me against Rustam Khabalov.
Gotcha.
Right? They booked me against Khabalov, who I just fought. I didn't fight him then. Right,
okay,
I was supposed to fight him.
In my mind, you're skipping like 2 years right now.
Yeah. After that fight, I took about 6 months off. That was in September. I fought early in March. March 17th. I was supposed to fight Rustam. Right now, Rustam got injured about 5 weeks out, so they bring Stevie Ray in. Stevie Ray's that would be a normal fight that somebody at my level would get. Rustam is not the normal fight that somebody at my level would get.
Weird matchups, man. Weird matchups,
right. Yeah, so fuck another southpaw.
Okay.
So I beat Stevie Ray, right?
What year is this?
This is 2018.
2018?
March 2018. Yeah,
okay, yeah.
March 2018.
Sure.
From Naoyuki Kotani was 2015. I took all of 2016 off.
Got you. Okay,
I didn't fight until the end of 2017.
Right.
Okay, and then I fought again early 2018 in March.
Got you.
Okay, I won that fight. So now we're looking for another fight. I wanted to get it going again. Okay, and now they booked me against Islam Makhachev. Right, so they just tried to give me this Dagestani killer. Yeah. Right, Rustam Khabalov, who nobody fucking beats this guy. Yeah. Right, like nobody fucking beats him. The only people that beat him are Benson Henderson, former champion, arguably one of the best lightweights to have ever existed. Okay. Right, and Adriano Martins, who I knocked out. Yeah. Those are the only guys to beat him. Right, so that fight didn't end up happening. I got Stevie Ray, which is, in my opinion, from their perspective, an easier matchup. But whatever, it's short notice. They don't have any control at that point. Yeah. Then they booked me with another fucking Dagestani, Islam Makhachev. Now, this guy is fucking easily one of the best guys in the lightweight division. Again, not ranked. They won't give me somebody that's ranked or somebody that everybody fucking knows. Yeah. Because why would you give somebody that you don't like somebody that has name
Doesn't
value?
make sense.
Why the fuck would you do that, right? Let's give him the toughest guy that nobody knows. That was in my opinion, that was their approach to me. Yeah. Right, so then I go and I lose to Islam Makhachev. Guy was fucking enormous.
Wait, hold up! I gotta interject here. It's not just you saying this. This is widely documented. Like when I'm doing my research on you, it's just like, why the fuck with the UFC? You know what I'm saying? And then it was like, well, I'll tell you why the UFC.
Because he's talking.
Right, exactly.
Everybody knew what was happening.
This is not just, you're not just some, I lost the fight and the UFC rigged it.
No.
Continue,
And I think I could beat Islam Makhachev. Like I would like to fight him again. I have a bit of a new approach now to fighting these grappler wrestler dudes. Right? And so I lose to this guy and then I'm like, okay, I want to fight again. And they're like, okay, Rustam Khabalov, right? And then the fucking Dagestani again, like fuck,
man. Copy, like fucking great. Yeah.
Exactly, right? Like, can I get like anybody that somebody knows.
Any ranked,
and not even ranked outside the rankings. Like I lost my last fight. I understand. I'm not expecting a ranked guy, but maybe somebody that has a little bit of name value.
Yeah.
Give me fucking Diego Sanchez.
Yeah,
Give me fucking Joe Lozon.
Yeah,
give me one of these guys. Somebody. Give me an American.
Yeah.
You know, I'm always fighting these fucking Russians and Brazilians. Give me a fucking American.
Yeah.
You know, but no, they gave me Rustam. I fucking beat Rustam. They still give it to the other guy, and then I'm fucking gone for the organization.
Well, that's if you watched your last fight, you would have some questions about that scoring.
I
but
whooped that guy, bro.
Yeah.
I fucking whooped that guy.
So let's leave that there and just say, you know, I don't want to get you going off on too much, but I don't want, you know, we got computers in this room. I don't want you to start raging, but
no, it's all good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was probably my best performance in my career.
Yeah.
In that last fight.
And that's why I keep saying you're at your prime. You're here.
So
and I just want you to fight again so I get more music.
I actually want to make another music video.
Goddamn.
On the next one, I would like to produce something else for it.
Fuck yeah.
But I gotta make a song first. So
get in the studio. What are you doing? Come on now.
Fuck, so much shit going on.
So much stuff.
Yeah, I know. I want to. I'm talking to Chin. We're gonna try to connect.
Oh.
Yeah, he's the one that helped me with my last one. Yeah. Yeah, he produced my last track. You didn't know that?
Shit.
Yeah, man.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's my producer. Yeah,
that's a blessing.
Yeah,
that's a very big blessing.
Such a huge blessing. Fuck, that guy is a magician.
He is all-time great. Vancouver, Canada,
producer for sure, by far.
Fucking work with some of the biggest names in the industry.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, people.
He's a monster.
Wow,
he's a fucking monster. My favorite part of the whole thing of that last track, was just sitting down and watching him build the beat.
Dope.
This is so fucking dope. Everything he would do, I'd just be like, that's so fire. Do something like, fuck, man. He's just so good at what he does.
He's just got a gift.
Yeah,
he's got a gift.
Really.
I've never met the man, but I've heard nothing but amazing things.
You
about
guys
his
should get him on here.
Love to, man. Yeah. Please, Chin. Please, we would love to have you on. I've heard nothing but good things. Please, he's done a ton of tracks. The local guys coming out right now. So I want to hear. I want to hear what the next shit is, man. I want to see. I think I know some guys at Self-Hired that might be able to do a video for you. I don't want to speak for anybody, but I know they got some cameras. So
yeah, they definitely do.
That could happen too, man. So I'm really looking forward. I want to see you fight again. I want to. For me personally, and I think listeners do too, MMA is slept on as a sport.
Yeah.
I stand by that. Some of the greatest athletes in the world. In terms of level of skill, some of the most highly skilled athletes in the world. I understand there's a reason why a lot of people don't like it, but at the same time,
it's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody. I understand that. I don't know if it will ever be the fully commercialized sport that the NBA, NFL, NBL is. But again, regardless of that, I still think it's slept on. And past that, I think that guys like yourself that understand mastery, like it is such a mastery craft, and there's so much the level of respect that that's for me personally, you know what I'm saying? It's just like I hold that on a higher pedestal versus knockout artists.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I'm saying? And that's a different. It's a dance. It's an art. I know it's a fight. I know it's a fight.
For sure, it's a fight. But there's levels, man. There's levels.
That's beautiful. I can't wait to see you. Whether it's fucking Bellator, whether it's in Russia, whether it's in anywhere, fucking Japan.
I'm cool with wherever. You know, I'm just so excited to get in there and scrap again. Wherever. As long as they have money.
Please.
Wherever has the most money, I'm down.
Muscle make money. Yeah, word.
I'm down, man.
For sure.
There's a couple fights that I want that are in Bellator.
Oh, talk about it.
No, Benson's in there.
Okay, talk about it.
That would be fucking fun. I've been watching him since I was young.
I'll see you, motherfucker.
Yeah, I'll see you. It's not like that. That guy, he's a beast, man. He's a beast. I would never disrespect him by I want to fucking fight you. But
I'm coming for you, motherfucker.
Yeah, it's not like that. It's like I would be honored to test myself against him. Yeah, he's a fucking OG
as a master of the craft.
Yes, exactly.
For sure.
I respect his art.
Yeah,
and I would love to test mine against his.
I don't want to say this in disrespect, but there's some older guys that are very, very good, over there, man. Like that are, totally. And I mean that in no negative way. I mean the guys that maybe don't have the athleticism that they used to have, but the mastery is on another level, man. And I would love to see you on that stage.
Yeah, it would be a lot of fun, bro.
It'd
be a lot of fun.
Who do you have coming up? I know you have a lot of exciting, exciting guys coming up at TriStar, and I know we didn't even touch on TriStar. I apologize for that.
It's all
it's
good,
fucking
dude.
so long,
much shit.
but I mean, there's so much to talk about. But I mean, I know you have a lot of guys coming up on TriStar, and I know that some guys you're really excited about.
Yeah.
Okay,
so the number one, like we call him a team captain, right? Is Jamie the Gremlin Siraj.
Okay.
Yeah. He's like my most experienced student. He's been with me for like 10 years now.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I've been coaching for a long time.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I started coaching when I was still living in Prince George, right? So that's like I moved out of Prince George at like 2005.
That's how you got Rocky into it, right?
She started like working pads with me once in a while, and then she wanted to get serious, so I introduced her to my boxing coach, Tony Pat.
Right. That's right. She did say that. Yeah.
And then he took her up and up and up and up, and I would still help her here and there. She'd still be training with us, but she was more with me and her. It was a bit of coaching, but it's more of a training partner relationship at that point.
Yeah, sure.
Because we were together at the time, and coaching your significant other is really difficult. That's really difficult.
How did you approach that?
With caution,
because she's no weak woman.
No,
man.
not whatsoever.
Is a fucking beast.
And she whooped me in conditioning. Like when we'd do conditioning as a team, like we were training at a Revolution Fortress, right? Which was a pro gym that the Revolution had a long time ago. This is like, I think it was done in like 2009 or something like that.
Eons ago.
Yeah, right.
Sure.
10 years.
Yeah.
So we were training together there, and we would do conditioning together, and she would just fucking destroy everybody on the team, man. Just the amount of, like, for her body weight, what she was lifting, and
gymnast
flexibility,
background,
range of motion. Yeah, it's just like you're
everything.
Way better athlete than all of us. She picked up boxing so fucking fast. Like, I remember at its height when she was like training for her pro fight, she was working pads with Tony in the gym, in the ring, and I'm like outside shadowing, waiting for my turn on pads.
Yeah.
And he's so animated. This guy's fucking hilarious. I love him. He's like, look, and he's like, you know what? I don't know who's better. I don't know. I don't know who's better. It's like, motherfucker, I've been doing this for like 10 years already.
God damn it.
But yeah, she improved drastically really fast, right?
That's awesome.
But yeah, it was a wild ride coaching her. I remember there was one time where like there was nobody really in the gym, and she had a fight coming up. So I was like, okay, let's go to the gym and do some sparring, right? And we're sparring, and I'm a lot bigger than her, and this is still in the earlier days, right? So I've got way more experience than her, right? So we're sparring, and I'm like, she's like fast, really fast, and her jab's fucking super sharp. But on that day, I was really kind of fucking with her a little bit.
Sure.
And she just like, at one point she got so fucking frustrated, dude. She just fucking lost it. All technique is fucking gone. And she's just like winging bombs at me and like a fucking banshee. Like she didn't know how to fight at all.
Yeah.
But it's so much emotion. But yeah, there was a lot of like a lot of up and downs, but it was really good. It was a great process.
That's tough,
Great
man.
process. It's not easy. I see a lot of father-son coaches too, and that's another fucking very difficult thing. Like me and Jamie are kind of like that because I've been with him for so long.
Right.
And
you've
like,
seen him grow, and
and his home life isn't, as a kid. Like I started with him when he was 14 years old when I started with him. Right, so his parents and everything is very crazy upbringing. Very, very crazy upbringing. Mom in and out of jail, et cetera, et cetera. I won't get into it. That's up to him. It's his story.
Sure.
But there was a number of times where he wasn't able to live at home.
Right.
And so he would come and stay with me. So there's been probably like 6-7 times where he's lived with me.
Wow.
Over the 10 years, right?
Wow.
So he's very much like he calls me dad. Sometimes I refer to him as my stepson.
Dad, let's go work the pads.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Dad.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of that there too. But even now, like he's getting so fucking good that it's much more like a training partner type relationship, which is very similar to what happened with me and my coach Bill Mahood. As I got better and better and better and continued to grow, and as he started aging and started kind of getting into the end of his career and stuff, it became much more like we're training partners,
which has got to be gratifying.
So cool, man.
Yeah, that's
so cool. So and now like Bill's still running a school in Grand Prairie, but a lot of the new evolutions of the techniques, he's still doing his own stuff, but a lot of the new stuff is coming from me. I'm giving him that information now.
That's fucking
right?
cool.
And I can start to see the same thing happening with Jamie.
Yeah.
Because I'm so busy running the gym and I'm so busy with doing my career and podcasts and this business, and that and all this business and shit, right? And he's still immersed in fighting. Like, he's just completely immersed in fighting. He's got other hustles as well, but he's got a lot more time for that. So
he's younger.
The amount of research that he's able to do, like he's coming to me with new shit all the time.
That's so
new
cool.
Shit,
so cool.
It's so cool, man. So cool to see like the intergenerational cycle.
You know what, man? And like you're bringing up a tribe.
Yeah,
it's a tribe of people,
we
right?
got a grip of them. Like Jamie's just one, right? Like he's the top guy, and then under him we've got probably 3 I would put in the same category.
Okay.
So Bryce Goujon,
okay,
who's just having his first pro fight here November 30th in Chilliwack on Rise FC.
Okay.
And then Ali Wasuk, who's having his first pro fight. He was one of the guys that went to the World Championships with me last year.
Oh.
Right, so he's having his first pro fight, hopefully in Rumble in the Cage. We're trying to book him on that in Lethbridge, November 24th.
Okay.
And then John Nguyen, who is the other guy that went to the World Championships.
Right.
He's having his first pro fight as well. And he just had his first pro fight.
Oh.
Yeah, he just got back from Lethbridge. He just had it.
How'd it go?
He knocked the guy out in the first round.
Not a boy.
Yeah, right?
Boy.
Like a savage with the knee.
Yeah.
Like clacked him with the elbow. Guy turtled, knee to the head.
Textbook. Bang.
Yeah, beautiful performance.
Nice.
And he's having his second pro fight here November 16th.
Okay.
So those 3 are coming up together.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like Jamie's in his own class.
Yeah.
And then the next class is those 3.
Yeah.
And the class after them, I call them the Young Blood Squad. Yeah, they're like all coming up together. The leader of them would probably be like this kid named Varun Sunder.
Okay.
He just had his very first amateur fight.
How old are these guys?
The Young Blood Squad's all like 21 and under.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie is 24. Bryce is, I want to say, 31. Ali and John are, I think, 26 or 27.
Gotcha.
There's another guy that I didn't mention yet, Sean City Coon.
Oh.
Yeah, Sean City Coon.
That's a fucking champion name,
Sean.
bro.
We call him the Emperor Genghis Sean City Coon. It's a pretty gangster name, right? So he just had his I think it's his 4th fight now on Mamba Fight League.
Oh shit.
Mamba Fight Night out in Langley.
Dope.
And he won as well.
Awesome.
It was, last weekend.
Killers coming up.
Yeah, man. So many killers. We got a stable, and it just keeps growing.
Yeah.
Like we're blessed in that we have a gym that's full of incredibly nice killers.
Awesome.
And then there's also a whole bunch of recreational people too. Okay, but most gyms will have like maybe like 5, 6 locally, maybe 5, 6, maybe max like 10, 12 guys that are like, okay, we want to compete. We want to do this,
Yeah.
At least 30% of my membership is people that want to compete.
30%?
At least 30%.
How big is your membership?
Not huge.
Okay.
Not huge. We've got maybe like, I don't know, max like 80 members. Max.
If you have 100 members, that's 30 people that want to fight professionally.
Dude,
so you got a lot of people coming in there.
We got a lot of people, dude. We got a lot of people that are like, that want it.
It's a tribe, man.
It's so cool.
That's awesome.
It's so cool. And I think a lot of it is because I'm an active fighter, so we attract that.
Yeah.
People hear the name TriStar too. And if you're
George
in
St.
the Lower
Pierre.
Mainland and you hear that, where I want to be a professional fighter, what gym am I going to go to? There's TriStar Gym. Okay, I'm going to go to fucking TriStar. It's fucking
duh.
Yeah.
Duh.
Exactly.
Duh.
Right. So that helps a lot. that name helps a lot. And fuck, thank you for Oz for allowing me to use this name. Yeah, what a fucking beast.
Damn.
So smart, this dude. Boggles my mind all the time. Every time I go over there.
Philosophy major.
You're way too fucking smart for your own damn good.
I would love to reach out to him, but he intimidates me with his level of intellect.
So smart, bro. Me too. Getting in any type of discussion, philosophical discussion with him is very difficult.
I'd love to go in on like determinism or because he's just got every angle figured out.
He's very good with it.
Sweet,
he's
very good for sure. And I mean,
well-read.
Best gym in Canada.
Yeah, easily top 5 in the world.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, top 5 in the world.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow,
for sure.
I mean, I think what you said earlier about just you have positive fighters, have little, like they might be warriors, but again, they're not assholes, right? And I think that's you, man. That's you. That's Rocky.
In the gym on your very first day, right? My fighters aren't going to be like, oh, I'm not working with this guy.
Yeah.
Okay, they're going to come and they're going to work with you and they're going to help you, because as soon as you get good, then you're going to be able to help them.
Very cool.
Right. So
very cool.
We have that kind of a mindset. Like all my fighters are also instructing. Right.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like a mentorship program. Once you reach a certain level, okay, now you're gonna have some sort of teaching responsibilities in the gym, even if it's just covering the odd class here and there.
Yeah.
Right. And that's because you need to be a full, well-rounded martial artist.
100%.
There's many aspects. Teaching is a huge aspect of it. You can only compete till you're like 35, 40.
Yeah.
You got a lot more life to live after that.
Yeah.
And that is usually spent teaching.
Yeah.
If you're not teaching your students how to teach, then you're really doing them a disservice, because what are they going to do for their after careers, right?
That's a great perspective.
Yeah.
No, and could not be more true. Your prime as an athlete is very, very short. It's a blink.
Super short. So, and there's not a lot of things you can do with an MMA skill set other than
outside of MMA.
So
that's a good point.
It's good to teach people how to teach, even if they want to do something else. A lot of my guys have other gigs as well, or accountants or whatever.
Sure.
But Genghis Khan of all people is an accountant. Scary.
Shout out to him,
name.
man. But I mean, you want to go quick, go alone, want to go far, go together, right?
Exactly, right. So we're blessed to have that ability.
Listen, man, we probably done like 3 hours.
Probably, right?
I would love to keep here sitting talking with you, and we're gonna have you back again. But I think we need to wrap this up.
Okay, let's
but
do it.
You know what, man? I've really enjoyed this podcast, and I learned a shit ton, and I want to have you on maybe when I know a little bit more about MMA, and maybe I can have a fucking opinion on some of this shit. But man, I love what you're doing. We want to continue to lift you up and lift figures like yourself up, and just again for that positive energy and for what you're doing, just the fact that you're building up that tribe, build up those people, because then again, once you build up those people, that's 30 more people like yourself.
They can go build other tribes.
Exactly. And not even in MMA, maybe they become fucking golfers, and they start a golfing academy,
motivational speaking, whatever
it may be.
Do whatever,
please go do that. So
youth worker, whatever.
Yeah. Do you. So Kajan, we appreciate you, man. I cannot wait to see your next fight, and I'm excited for you. I'm excited for everything in the future. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, bro.
You guys.
Thanks for having me on.
My guy. Appreciate you, man. Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. That is a wrap.
Yeah. Dose.